como un casabe.
Tá vendo?
Okay.
Es como un casabe artificial.
Okay, gentlemen, I think that should be us back. Our good old Amadeus, Murakhan, Soli, who I'm currently over. I'll make myself smaller in but a few seconds. And Zorok. Now, that may not be anywhere near as smooth of an opening as I had planned, but at the very least, we're all here. So, gentlemen, to everybody watching at home, I would like to present to you our dear companions. We have Ghostmaker, strongest goth in South America, playing as Zorok, the half-orc fighter. Make the Zorok sound for us. Choose a trademark Zorok
Beer!
sound. Oh my, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. A call for beer is definitely up there. And I am Cronin Moonraven, but you've already heard about me. With us is our new companion, screen name Sculex. If you see him out there, that is portmanteau for Square Alex, and he is going to be taking control of Soli the Dwarf for today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is not to say that we shan't see our beautiful Big Mike. In fact, he's with us on the chat right now. He's our lovely channel moderator. But just for today, his responsibilities have called him away, and thankfully we can count with a new pair of talented hands on our squad. So, with that out of the way,
Mike, we love you.
we do fucking love you, brother man. However, let us now recall ourselves back a couple of weeks in time, since last week there was somebody else occupying my place.
At the end of the last session,
The players had defeated Asterix,
the Fell.
a young green dragon occupying the last and most bottom level of a Roman tomb bunker. Essentially, a self-renewing dungeon which fills with monsters every time that the moon casts mists upon the land. In a spectacular and very short battle, the heroes all collaborated to collectively empower their colleague Murakhan, who grew to maybe 3 or 4 times his own size, and, not to put too fine a point on it,
Brought vengeance upon the face of his old oppressors by slaying the Dragon Fell.
using the Black Lance, one of the semi-legendary weapons currently in employ of the party. Returning to your size, and everybody recovering from the explosion of the gold and treasure around the chamber, which in contact with Asterix's magical blood went up in a big old kaboom. Thankfully, all of our heroes are made of stern stuff. You are left in a room with the corpse of a young adult green dragon, a around person-sized dead dragon egg, the item of Asterix's insanity, which it had been holding as if it was a living baby, calling it brother. And now that you are in this room and the dragon is dead, you feel fresh. You may roll a perception check if you so desire, but we are now with you, gentlemen.
Okay.
Perception check. That's a 27.
Oh, wow.
8.
I got an 11.
So, Zurok just notices that, hey, maybe this battle wasn't so bad. I'm getting refreshed quickly. Murakhan, you notice that over the course of the fight, a number of pipes close to the ceiling of the room have been slowly letting in a ever-increasing trickle of mist. And there is now a rumbling sound being heard. You can't really tell where it is or how much time you have, but when you killed the sorcerer a couple of floors up, how much water mist stuff was he holding back? You're not sure. But with a 27, you know it's about to make its way down the pipes. And you know that when that shit pools, there be monsters. So...
Well, guys, I think it's for the best if we just get the fuck out of here. I don't like what it looks like, and I don't like that sound either.
Sure.
Okay,
Do we have the dragon skin?
Well, in order to cut the dragon skin, I'm gonna need you guys to do me some kind of check, because, hey, you just know you need an amount, but there's a lot of dragon, and some skin to be chosen. What do you want to do?
Okay.
I want to
Whoa,
give
whoa,
their wings.
Whoa, give me a minute. Hold on. What if I cast reduce and enlarge reduce on the dragon, and we take it out, and then we do this later when we don't have this fucking mist biting our butts. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, you guys have a number of bags of holding, don't you? Including Zurok. You have a special one from going into the temple. A red bag with teeth. I'll say this. Just as before, an enlarged spell shouldn't be able to be applied more than twice. And I think if you take a dragon, they are they large-sized creature? I'll tell you what, if you throw the reduced spell with one spell slot higher than the base casting, I'll allow you to reduce the size of Asterax down to something you can put into the bag. But conversely, Zorok, you gotta look into the bag, because this is gonna take up a lot of space. You guys are not dragging even a mollified corpse of a dragon upstairs.
I don't have anything.
You haven't put anything in there? Oh, that's right, you even took
only
out
the toad, and I already used it, so...
Oh yes, for those who don't know, the guys had a what's called a barking toad. The kind of thing that goes... Oh, can those be heard? Hang on. There may have been a little bit of echo with the sound effect I just used there. So yeah, you used your tactical nuke. Okay, you'll be able to put the dragon in. It'll fit. It'll fit. Now, read me, please, the duration of the spell, because I'm going to have to track that, okay? You guys are deep in a dungeon, and this was some expensive magic to cast. Unfortunately, there was barely any gold left at the end. This motherfucker was using it, and it exploded in contact with his blood.
I want to know if...
What are you guys going to leave the dead egg?
The target size is halved in all dimensions, and its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. The reduction decreases its size by one category from medium to small, for example. Until the spell ends, the target also has disadvantage. Oh no, hold on. Attributes, duration, concentration up to 1 minute. Fuck. Okay.
Up to 1 minute. Yeah, that's not ideal.
That's not going to be enough.
No, that's not going to be enough.
However, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, my friend. Now that you have seen quite a bit of magical work in this world using the gold itself as its source, I'm gonna let you roll me an Arcana check. Let's call it difficulty 25, and anybody can give him the help action if they want to say they're thinking about this stuff theoretically with them. And if you're able to hit that, I'll let you in on a secret.
Okay. Well,
I'm just going to open the door for my little dog. Be right back.
While we're at this, I'm going to go check and be guarding on those pipes, since he already said that something is sounding over there and we don't know what's going on. While check on the dragon and decide what we're going to do. I'm just going to be, checking out in case something comes up.
Okay, that's an Arcana, right?
Mm-hmm.
18 plus 8. That's a 26.
Holy shit. I hope you're not lying to me. I'm trusting you.
Okay.
This man is like that. So, here's what happens. It's one thing to power a spell initially, but it's another thing to keep it running. There's a lot of incredibly complicated workings of magic that take a big burst at the start and then just run off of ambient. You prepared a bunch of spells like that around your original citadel. That's kind of how you do a bunch of the stuff that the rubes, the people of the street, take to be so magical about a wizard's tower. You know, an ever-burning lamp or whatever. So technically, you think to yourself, I could cast a spell and then continue to feed it gold? You're not sure of the rate, but, you know, maybe if you guys pool your gold together, you could have an idea of how long you can extend that for. I'm gonna let you know these are some quick calculations that you want to make, and, you know, check your resources, you guys. As for Soli, you get back up close to the wall, and up there you meet with the ally that came down with you guys, the shadowy policeman of the jungle, a certain man and panther known collectively as Ashercat. He is prowling the shadows and having a look around, and he says, "You guys took that thing down before I even had a chance to come in. You're making me look bad. But you hear that, don't you? And you hear it very clearly. It's the sound of rushing water. Somebody has turned the shower on."
Is the sewage going to collapse on us or something?
Roll a intelligence check. With advantage.
Alright.
I want to get close to the egg and see if I can try to communicate with it again. Like
Highest one is an
did
8.
before.
Oh.
Okay, so unfortunately, Zurok, you don't get a lot. Murakan, as for the egg, it seems a lot more inert now, but you do remember that it did call to you during the battle. It wanted to get away from the bigger man. Now that you're up close to it, it's a heavy fucking hunk of stone, but you think with a few leather pieces you could put it on your back like a backpack. Might be a heavy thing to carry, though.
Okay, he's not communicating with me now, so I will wait till he communicates with me. I start to prep something, some ropes and some stuff to make.
And you make like a little, like a carry sling to put it on your back.
Yeah.
I won't make you roll for this one. This is something relatively simple for someone who's been an adventurer for a while. As for Amadeus, so here's the thing. If you cast a spell, I'll let you, at a cost of 1,000 gold points per 10 minutes, continue running it and get out. You guys think that at a normal pace, you could get out of here in 30 minutes? More or less the time it took you to go down the stairs without fighting the enemies.
Okay.
But, so yeah, that would be about 3,000 gold to get out of the dungeon. You reckon maybe another 2,000 to get back to the village?
Hold on. How much did we get from what's left from the explosion? Wasn't it like 5,000 gold?
Oh, did I say there was anything left? If I said there was like 5,000 or so left last time, you could absolutely
you said,
grab it.
You said that it was.
If anybody goes and watches the last VOD, if this man is currently, what's the word here, gaslighting me, I will make his character get hit by lightning in the ass every episode for no reason. That will be your Kenny curse. Whenever you're about to do something cool, I will pick one moment to throw a lightning bolt up your ass. Just warning you.
No, but I believe there were some gold left because there was kind of 30,000 you said before.
Yeah, there was 30,000 at the start. The dragon spent 10k using magic, and then you guys had. Most of it exploded, but if I said anything left, that would have been about the amount that I said, so I think it's fair. Why don't you roleplay for me how you consume it? And because you are very magically adept, I'm not going to make you do a roll like the other guys would do to just be able to cast it. You tell me how you use it on the understanding that when you transform gold into magic, it becomes this incense-like, completely evaporated material. You are controlling it. You are feeling it. Yeah, it's kind of like cocaine. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little cocaine-y.
Okay.
It's a little cocaine.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So I piled all the gold together, and I put my hand in some of the gold, and I start trying to absorb it while I get the spell ready in my other hand. Okay, and
Magic
when all the
pools
gold,
around your arms.
yes, and then while all the gold is absorbed, I completely finish the spell with my both hands, and then just put it in the dragon.
In an astounding display of magical simplicity, you take a spell that would take a much older, or rather, you take the kind of spell that a young wizard says is, I get how that works, like, you know, what you can do with it. And you do the kind of practical application of magic that makes its way into history books. You take a dragon, and you make it dog-sized in the span of one casting. And then you throw it into a bag. The bag closes its mouth greedily and then looks full. It occasionally pants as if it's overstuffed.
Since I am the one holding the bag, I just go, this shit is weird.
I would like to say something here. The moment you channel the gold to do this, it evaporates around you in a... You guys see that around Amadeus there is a brief flash, sort of like an aurora, as if there was a sheen in the air. Sort of like instead of heat haze, the use of vast transformation of magic creates this mirror shine around you briefly. And as for you, you've cast spells before, yeah, and even the act of loading magical energy for later, magic energy feels many ways, right? In that sense, you have to admit to yourself, it's kind of like a drug. There is a different rush between telepathy and pyromancy. This is nothing like you've ever felt before. If you haven't always been using an appliance, this is the first time you're able to drink the current. And oh my god, it is pure, it is clean. In a certain way, it terrifies you because you realize it could destroy you, but it would absolutely be your fault. And as the spell completes, you take a look at yourself, and I'm not gonna put a thought in your character's mind for you in this way, but I'd like you to think about, all of a sudden, a place where this is a normal thing to do for people like you. And with that, gentlemen...
So I just
This feels
look
like-
at everyone
This feels like Amsterdam.
okay. So I just look at everyone and say, okay, we're done with this. So we did our job. Let's start operation. Get the fuck out of here.
That would be
like
a
the
good
way-
idea. This thing's still sounding, and I would like to ask the guidance that you told me, I forgot the name of it, the Panther guy. What
John.
does
So you want
he
to talk to John?
John,
Let me just
what
hang
does
on,
he
my
think?
little
What does he think? Because,
homebound battle beast.
I think
being-
I think we're just taking too much time over here, and I just keep sounding this is not gonna be good in a while.
Well, if you guys want to hurry up the stairs, why don't everybody give me a toughness check to avoid taking a level of exhaustion? As you guys fucking hustle up around...
Toughness
maybe
or Constitution?
Constitution, my apologies. Athletics in its default if you have it higher. If you're a
Okay.
big lungy boy.
Which I am. Plus
Yeah,
4.
For me, it's kind of the same. So
I got a 14 plus 4, so it's an 18.
that's an
And
18
got a
plus
passes.
2. That's a 20.
12 only.
I got a 7 plus 4. That's 11.
So, Amadeus, you take a level of exhaustion. Sully, you may spend a point of rage if you want to avoid taking a level of exhaustion while running up these stairs.
Yeah, we'll do. We don't have to fight.
Okay, gentlemen. So, you all hear the Rocky music in the back of your heads, even though you have no idea what a Rocky is, and are pretty certain that in an elven language it was very terribly translated as Pedrusco. No, I will not explain that joke. But you make it out. As a matter of fact, you make it out, and it's not that late, but the sun is setting. One key
no.
change, however. There are two things that you notice right away. No roll required, and they happen in quick succession. The first one, as you step out into the gloom light, is that you are not able to hear any bugs. You don't hear any insects, any birds, any wildlife around you. And you're smart enough to know by now that that means danger of some kind and close. But what's perhaps more worrying is the fact that after a few seconds of letting your eyes adjust to the light, an enormous blue flash goes off in the distance in the direction of the village, followed a few moments after by a blast wave and a dull thud of sound which reverberates from your feet to your chest.
Can I check intelligence? Because I think
Difficulty
that was
10.
The
If
plus
it's,
one.
listen, you nailed it. That was the submarine.
Oh.
So
Oh shit.
a number of allies have fallen. Will you make your way back to the camp?
Yeah. I start running actually. So
Whoa,
I
wait.
tell everyone, follow me, follow my lead. I'll guide you through.
I want to cast in with pass
So-
without some
Pass without trace.
pass without trace. Yeah.
Okay, you cast Pass Without Trace, which gives everybody in the party a +10 bonus to stealth. So here's what's going to happen. There is only a short trek of one travel league between where you are and the village. It's going to be either a group survival or a group stealth. Now, because I'm happy to tell you this, Morkan, you've gone around the area enough to now gain the same perk that Zurok had gained, which is knowledge of the area. You roll survival checks for the immediacies of Blood Tree with advantage. You know, you've been around for a minute. So,
Alright.
as a group, I'm going to let you guys know that kaboom was bad. And when night falls is when the jungle is most dangerous, because that's when every group meets. The changing of the guard, so to speak. So, as a group, do you guys want to? You can either roll that survival as a group, or you can roll stealth. Stealth will be a bit slower, but it also completely negates the possibility of rolling a combat encounter, which
And everyone have a +10 to a stealth right now. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go with stealth.
Alright. Well,
Yes.
is his bonus on top of mine?
yes, sir, you gain a +10 even to what you have. So
So I
Just
got a
eight.
plus 15.
just a quick aside. Let me just make here a quick aside for
Cronin's soapbox. Hasbro, what the fuck? How is there a +10 bonus to stealth at this level of the game? This is basically just saying mechanically, hey, you guys want to have a stealth sequence? You can have a stealth sequence for free, whenever you want. You can, and I'm breaking the balance with making gold into magic.
for 1 hour.
And you know that's that should be us back
You
to
didn't
the
turn
game.
off the voice. Alright.
Okay.
So we're rolling stealth. Alright, let me go first.
I'm going to let you know, this campaign has very serious elements, but I'm going to establish in canon that whenever anybody rolls a 1 on stealth, they accidentally do a default dance and that version of the song plays.
Alright.
I already did it to Amadeus last session. I'll do it again. Don't tempt me.
Okay. Okay, so I got a 6 plus 15. It's a 21.
Okay.
I got a 9 plus 14, which is 23, I think.
7
Okay,
plus
that's 2 already. How much?
That's
7 plus
20.
14.
Right, so
21.
the DC I had set is 18. With 3 out of 4, you guys are able to make your way. But I'll say this. It was, in fact, a little bit slower than making it over just cross-country. So, your bag begins to act as if it's got a upset tummy. Because of the distance, it's not that much, but another 10 minutes, you guys would have to come up with another 1,000 GP worth of gold to keep the spell going. Just throw it into the bag, or you can spend the spell slot.
I give him the what's it called? The gold chain with the opal that I got from the dungeon.
Ooh, that was worth something like 3k?
250. 500.
But wait, Murakan,
So
didn't you
just
get the 1,000 that was 1k exactly from the dungeon?
2,000 actually. Yeah.
But it was gold. Like it was gold. It was not a
Yeah,
gold.
it was straight gold. Well,
Okay,
you have a gold patch with 2k. I just take out the gold. I think that at this point Murakan just understood that he what's the meaning for the gold here. So I just toss the gold patch to the old man, saying,
yeah, you don't
next
fight
time ask me nicely, old man, and we kill Walker.
Shut up, you overthrown iguana. And I cast a spell.
Okay, you throw the gold into the bag and it eats it up hungrily. It makes a little sound. It's kind of cute in a way, a very creepy, darkly magical way. And you're able to make it past the tree line and get back to the village. Now, you might be happy in another circumstance to see that Otter has put a lot of his fucking blood into the stele and actually carved up a kind of Rosetta Stone. You're learning about the different alphabets in this world as you walk towards it and see that the legionnaires he was with used the fires and fans to make one side dry, so that the next time they come around you won't have to give them all the explanations. And they left themselves a whole bunch of like little reminders and stuff, and of course a couple of them drew dicks with wings, because so long as humanity has had the ability to put something on a wall, there has been a penis on it. Yeah, you might have rejoiced to see your plans go, but unfortunately your blood tree is currently silhouetted by the flames and the electric blue sparks of what remains of the submarine in the distance far away.
Alright,
There's a group
so
of
I start
people gathered in the plaza.
So I start rushing to see if to find the first person that I know. Hopefully I find goddamn it, Thomas.
Well, that seems
I'm
kind
looking
of
for someone I
unlikely.
know.
Do you remember that Thomas was part of the expedition that went into the submarine?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he got out before the thing blew up. I don't know. So I'm just looking for someone I know. Who do I run into first?
Well, you can tell that there's going to be a group of recognizable people at the plaza just from the silhouettes of the shadows. Does everybody go together to meet, say, the gathered NPCs, or do you have anywhere specific you want to go? Thank you, wherever this is. Thank you kindly. Much appreciated. Thank you for your time. Please hit us with the like, subscribe, what the fuck ever. We're about to hit affiliate. We'll be here every Sunday, blood permitting, bringing you D&D entertainment. My name is Cronin Moonraven, also known as K, Prince of the Moon, and these are my heroes. But you're the one that makes this possible. Ooh, yeah, put it in the chat. It's a little doggy. But what's not so cool... Yeah, so are you all going to go and talk to the NPCs in specific, or would you like to do something else than Suruk?
I will try to get the egg near the tree, since the old man was resurrected from the tree after a heart attack. I think the tree may be a good way to...
Why don't you roll me an intelligence check to see if there's a brilliant idea, or if there's maybe a better way of executing that. The others?
Intelligence is... Ooh.
Well, in this case, I would like to. I think that we don't have enough time, so we can, like, for example, I can go ask the half orc what is it gonna do. But how does it look? Because what you're describing. Do we have people running? Do we have the chance to just stop?
There is
so
the stunned silence that happens after something unimaginably horrible has occurred. Let me remind you that in the town there are currently the dying bodies of some 20 or 30 dwarves that were hurt during the Deep One attack on the submarine. You know that your wife was currently outside, but her
Ex-wife?
new husband, your ex-wife, Margarita, but her ex-husband Tom, the guy who actually fished you out of the water, a dwarf in power armor that used to joke that he was technically your grandson. Long story, but long story. He's also from Onas. You're not blood related. He met Margarita in this world, so it's funny like that. The vagaries of being from a race with very long lives is very weird family circles sometimes. So you're not happy to think about it, but technically your competition just died. But I'd like to think Sully, as he goes with Zurok towards the people, knowing that Margarita is going to be in the plaza, isn't really thinking about it with that sense of dark satisfaction. Or is he? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because since basically I want to go check the closer I can get to the submarine, just to see what I can see, or if it's something might be able to be done, because that's what I wanted to know, if there are going to be some dwarves in danger. I mean, we don't have a specific direction right now. I'm just going to go check what was going on with them.
Okay. Now, Amadeus, you got something else? And how much did you roll? A 1?
Yeah.
Listen, you can't think of a worse idea than putting it in the tree. Something tells you that you don't want to leave it. You're starting to worry because, oh shit, did you get cursed? You're kind of did Asterax have this same desire to not let go of the egg? Whatever it is, with a 1, you don't figure it out.
Okay.
Lendakari, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. Your participation is always appreciated. Your also.
Yeah, what even is that? Is that a dinosaur?
I think it's like a reptile going . You know, we're open to all kinds of here.
The boomer moment of the day.
I've been feeling so boomerly lately, which is horrible because I'm actually from the fantasy world we're talking about and not part of that generation of people. But we'll talk about that on the Patreon when we have one. Technically, I do have a Patreon, but we'll talk about that later. So, with a 1, you don't get shit. Amadeus.
All right. Yeah. Hold on. So you're going to find someone to give him to give the dragon to Zurok?
No.
Zurok, sorry.
I am going to find someone I know that explains to me what the fuck happened and what is the situation around camp.
Yeah, but isn't the dragon going to expand in your bag soon?
Yeah, it is rumbling.
Okay, so I just open the bag and give it to Amadeus and say, don't put your finger in it. Just turn it and shake it.
You're handed a bag of holding deluxe with teeth. So it's rumbling. So it's got like 3 or 4 minutes. It's not gonna happen immediately.
Who am I going to give this to?
You want to give this either to the architect Otter, who is a maker of things, or you want to give it to Temok, the master warrior, so that he can in turn do his own thing. Either people will be able to do the crafting for you. And speaking of, you're able to see the first one of these. Mr. Otter is now not enormously fat. He is in fact enormously tall and skinny. By comparison, now that he is devoid of all of the extra mass that he carried to create the stone, he looks lanky and
kind of like
very
Snoop Dogg.
However, you know, when he turns to look at you guys, you see that his face is freely streaming tears. There's like no self-consciousness about how horrified he is at what's just happened. Next to him, looking absolutely tiny by comparison, is Margarita, Sully's ex-wife, who is now out of the trance, that communion that she was keeping with the tree.
Okay, so I walk up to them and, you know, putting 2 and 2 together, I just say, how many?
Everybody, probably Over 100, Zurg. And that's just the ones that I knew.
Damn it. And Thomas?
Inside. And what's worse, she looks at Sully and pulls out a gun and puts it at your forehead. You've never, ever seen the face that she is making right now. Not in all your long years. She says, I had a talk with the people in the tree. I know what's about to happen here. You're about to... What? Put on a fancy dragon cloak and go talk to death? Or try it next time? You're just going to let this happen to us over and over. Well, I'm sick and fucking tired of being second fiddle in your story, Sully. You're taking me to the pyramid. I will not forget this. And when time restarts, we won't come here. I'll let you drown in the water. So, gentlemen, we have a standoff. And I shit you not, there are rules for firearms in 5th edition because I have the manual.
Alright, so I look at Sully. May I? Or are you taking care of this?
Well, it's. I hope it's noticeable in my face that I'm kind of happy that she's alive. I'm just
well,
go ahead and
you
do
had
that.
met with her a while back. Continue.
Oh no, but right now after this specific situation, that's why I wanted to run there. Since the Halford told us that it was the submarine, I just wanted to go run and check directly on that. But yeah, I just wanted to be known that it's visible on my face that I'm happy, but I'm kindly shocked. So I'm just gonna follow the Halford right now.
Alright, so I kneel in front of her, in front of the gun.
You kneel down. The gun looks... I mean, you've never seen a gun before, but from the way she's holding it, like you've seen a small crossbow. You can tell that whatever it does, it's not going to be good for your body on the other side. The woman is trembling in... It's like you put a 10-gallon of rage inside of a little jam compote flask.
Okay. It's a metal gun?
Well... It looks metallic.
Okay, so...
You may try to discern more with a check.
Okay. What do I have to check?
I would roll perception if I was you.
Perception. Okay.
Well, everything this is happening, I am on the other side of the square with the egg, just carrying the egg.
Man, you eat popcorn.
Perception is 14.
These people do so much drama. So
perception is, hold on, it's 14 plus 4, it's 18.
The gun is made out of metal, but you can tell that it's not just steel. If it is, it has been treated with maybe a silver covering. Definitely, the outside is a precious metal. You don't know about the rest of it because there are no guns in Constone. You imagine it's like a prepared wand of fireball or whatever.
Okay. Then what I do is I use subtle spell, okay, which makes me cast a spell without the components, and I cast heat metal on the metal one she has in the hand.
You're gonna cast heat metal.
Yep.
All right. Before arguments are allowed, please read to me heat metal.
Okay. Hold on. It goes like this. choose and manufacture metal objects such as a metal weapon or a suit of heavy or medium metal armor you can see within range. You cause the object to glow red hot. Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage when you cast the spell. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns to cause this damage again. If a creature is holding or wearing the object and takes the damage from it, the creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or drop the object if it can. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of your next turn.
So, I'm going to say the following. So she would roll that toughness check with advantage for the reason that this is in fact a pistol and it has a wooden guard. However, as I am saying, it is in fact a gunpowder pistol. Mm-hmm. So by using heat metal, the most generous thing that I can say here is that the ammunition in it is going to explode. So I need you to roll me a 1d6, and on a 1, you've hit Sully with a headshot. On a 3, the bullet goes on another direction. And everybody in this scene is at risk, okay? Let me be extremely
I am the one in front of the gun, so...
So that's a 4. I'm afraid that does roll to hit our half-orc fighter. Now, you can try to dodge this. It is a dexterity 18 check, but...
I'm not.
Okay, well... Brother, I hope you recovered some damage after last fight, because some of you hear a completely new sound to you in your life. That was not it, but I definitely put the wrong one on. The explosion of a gun. That's 20 points of damage, my friend, as all of a sudden you are missing a piece of liver. It feels as if you got punched. It's only in the afterward that you realize a piece of your flesh is missing. But it could have been worse.
Okay, so... I want to roll, I don't know, Constitution to try to, like, hold the pain and remain in position.
If you're able to do that, I'll allow you to roll with advantage on a grapple check against the now fleeing gnome. She is running towards the place where the pyramid is about to settle on the shoreline.
That I want to ask. What happened?
What is my difficulty?
Exploded, right?
Yeah, the gun exploded, and for the record, she took some damage, which I pre-rolled in case this was something that could happen, if there was some other way that the gun could explode. So you're rolling that toughness check. Your DC is 16.
16, alright. Fuck. You said with no advantage, right? Straight.
No advantage. You may try to roll a grapple check if you wish to stop her.
Okay, how do you roll grapple?
So grapple is essentially a strength. It's a strength throw plus proficiency if you have grappling proficiency. Not sure that you do.
No, I don't. Okay. Grapple.
So just because you were more distant, I'm not going to allow the enemy. Like, she had you at arm's length, so you would be at a complete disadvantage. But if you wanted to, you could.
That's what I'm not trying to grapple her right now because I know that I'm between him. I mean, the half orc is between me and her. I'm just since I noticed that the explosion happened, and she started running. I just tried to start running towards her.
Okay, so what was your roll?
Whether he grappled her or not.
No, I couldn't.
Okay, if you want to, so you fail to grab her. She's got quick little feet, man. If you want to run after your ex-wife and her mangled hand, roll me a... is it an athletics check? Roll me an athletics check to see if you can cover the distance before she gets down there. Now, gentlemen, let me be entirely clear on what's happening here. This woman is running towards the shoreline, where you still see the wreckage of the submarine. And as it's been off-moored by the explosion, it is currently dead center on where the pyramid is about to crush it, when the sun touches the horizon. and disappears, which will be in probably a minute or two, about the time it takes to run down to the shoreline.
Wait,
The pyramid
if
will
it's
fall.
if it's turning dark, shouldn't the pyramid be rising now?
Oh, should it? How I completely fucked up my world building. Yeah, you are in fact correct. It is down during the day. I have completely fucked up my world building. But you know who usually is down there and has been in communication lately? Tortuga, the flying turtle. Speaking of, why don't you make me a... In fact, I'm not gonna give it a roll. I'm gonna say I'm a fucking asshole. You know who else died in that submarine? A certain old man who looks like a tiger about to pounce. You may not know that.
Why
right
was
now.
he in there?
Trying to help the survivors. You guys separated when you went off to get this dragon skin. I'm not just saying that to be a dickhead, but her flying ride is down by the beach. So even though I fucked up my world building, I did give myself options. As the world resets to accommodate this poor writer's moment of forgetfulness, if you want to catch her, man, it's going to be an athletics check, difficulty of 20.
I have 16 plus
Murakami.
8.
How far is she from when I am right now?
16 plus 8, you rolled it, motherfucker. Okay, you're able to run at the same speed as her, but, you know, she turns to you and she says, "And what have you got to say for yourself?" She is, like, full-on crying, holding, like, her clearly stump of a hand. She's now missing a couple of fingers. You think she's not even thinking straight. But, hey, what do you do? Are you going to tackle her down, or are you just going to run all the way to the pyramid? Murakan, sorry that I interrupted you. I know that I do this kind of shift focus real quick. Murakan, what do you want to do? Do you want to...
I want to start playing with the drama guys. So I want to know how far she is from where I am right now, so I can use these steps to instantly teleport from her and stop her.
So I'll say this, since these things are happening concurrently, because this is narrative, I'll say that you are able to teleport there after a, let's call it a difficulty 10 athletics check to take a couple skips and hops down from the main plaza down the slope, cut the path, make it shorter, then you can teleport in front of her and give her a little zancadilla.
Okay. And if I cast Misty Step with a higher spell slot, can I do it without a check?
I allowed somebody else to do it, so yes, I'll allow you to do it, but since you're not a fucking wizard, you gotta roll me an Arcana check to make it work.
Okay.
You're touching powers you don't understand, and now you're out of the inky blackness.
Do I want to spend a lucky point here? No, I don't want to actually. That's a 19 in the dice.
Okay,
I don't have
so
bonuses for Arcana checks, so it's just a 9.
So this poor woman had no chance, and just so you know, I would have at this point rolled another dice from her to try to escape. Being a small one, she has a lot of opportunities for it, but the dice I rolled was very low. So you guys tell me how you catch onto this fleeing, panicking dwarf who's trying to do something crazy. No, not a dwarf, my apologies. Margarita is a halfling. So, a non-hobbit.
I believe I've reached her, right?
Yes. You both reach her at the same time.
I don't know if he was able to touch her, but if not, I'm gonna try to tackle her since we're running. I just want to stop her.
Yes, but you can do it now with advantage as a black dragonborn manifests out of a cloud of inky blackness in front of her out of nowhere, and she goes, "Ah!" Not because he's black, but because she's just naturally a terrifying dude. Guys, I am the Prince of Darkness. I don't see. I mean, I see race, but I don't get started down this
don't need
path.
to explain
You fucking
yourself
idiot.
so much.
You guys know me. Anyways, please continue. How do you do this, gentlemen? How do you Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's
if by any chance she stopped because she got also shot because of the presence of the Dragonborn, I'm just gonna hold her.
Oh no, she's
But
still
now I'm
running
gonna
but screaming. You are gonna have to tackle.
Yeah.
If
I'm
there's
gonna
one
go-
thing
I'm
that
gonna
you know
go
about your
back.
wife, she can keep running while terrified under any circumstances.
I'm gonna go directly for the tackle if I can hold it through the around the body and go to the floor
Okay,
with her.
that's going to be a attack roll with proficiency if you have it. I mean, you do have proficiency, so that's going to be strength plus proficiency, as if you were rolling a weapon. I always leave the gentle ambient music for moments like this, the last thing to
That
do
will
to
be a
add
7.
before the episode. Only a 7?
Yeah.
Okay, that means that Murakhan, it's your chance if you want to stop her. You want to just do a difficulty. If you're able to hit her AC with an attack, I'll say you're able to grab the scruff of her neck.
That's exactly what I was trying to do. I was meant to do. I want to grab her for the collar from behind, like a little cat.
Hit me with the roll then. I'll let you know her AC is 12, but if you fail this, she might get away.
Okay. That's a 13 in the dice.
Oh, these gentlemen, they do not fail. High rolls all around. I'm happy to see high rolls all around. So you are able to pick her up, and her legs continue going as if she's on the ground for a while. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad. You guys
pick
have
her up,
Margarita.
Say to her, "Calm fucking down, woman."
All right,
That is
so
not very gentle. She doesn't listen to that.
Holding
unfortunately.
the hole in my stomach, I start walking to them.
gentle.
So I have a hole in my stomach, okay? And I
Yes,
start
you do.
moving towards them. And I say, hey, give her here. I'll handle this.
You
Are
hand
you
her
sure
over.
you can handle it?
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. I just toss her towards the orc.
You catch her, but roll me a toughness check to not take some bleeding damage. Difficulty 15.
I'm just amazed how much time we're losing here. We
16
still
plus
have to
3.
craft the dragon claws.
Okay, you squirt a little bit of ketchup out of your new hole, but you otherwise don't lose any HP. You're fine for now.
Okay.
You don't lose your balance. She's still running with her eyes closed while you have her grabbed by the back of her shirt.
Okay. While
Okay,
this is
so I start-
happening, While this is happening, I look at the architect and I give him the dragon.
It falls, and immediately it increases 2 sizes as the spells give away, and you guys get pushed away a bit. Boom! And all of a sudden, there is a dead, slightly stinky dragon on the middle of the plaza, and he goes, "Shit! All right, yeah, I can work with this. I can work with this. You want some boots too? Fuck! It's gonna take me like a week, but thankfully you brought the actual dragon. It would have sucked if I had to send you back to there to go and take its brain." And he, takes out a knife and starts breaking the head, scalping it. He goes through a very long process to like crowbar the top of the skull open. You use the brains of the beast in order to cure the leather. So good practices. And he starts on his thing. It's gross work, but he seems to enjoy the distraction. Anything to stop thinking about what just happened and how stupid it all is. Because as we go back to the others, not that I want to take away from your scene, we gotta.
All right.
She finally stops moving her legs, and without opening her eyes or stopping holding her hand, she goes, "I know that one way or another, we're all gonna die, and then we're gonna come back. But I don't want that to happen again and again and again." Ow.
I know. None of us.
Or I
do.
can tell
Trust
everyone
me.
can die and not ever come back, so...
Okay, so I start walking away from the fucking Dragonborn. And I
Yeah,
start
you
walking towards the shore.
deliberately not necessarily making the situation better. You get to the shore, to the
Okay.
square
And I
indentation.
also signal Sully to follow me.
and
And as I'm
you're
walking there, I say, listen, I know that the situation we're in is a fucked up one. Trust me, I've been here, in this case, a little bit longer than you. I will tell
been here
you
for
though,
100 years, man.
yeah, but you haven't been in this village. You haven't been in this jungle. This place is several kinds of fucked up. Okay? Now, you're talking about going into the pyramid. That is not going to happen. Because
Is
if
it
you
already
enter
done?
there, you're gonna be cursed like us. And it's a
What do you mean
curse
cursed? You
in
don't look
which...
that bad to me.
How do you
By
think
which he
we know
means
this?
it's not a flirt. She's clearly in horrible pain. What she means is you don't look like
I know.
you have a debilitating curse.
It's not a... You see, we are cursed, and we already died. I still remember the taste of my own flesh as we burned. You
Yeah, the
don't
memories go
want
back to your
that.
head.
You don't want that. Now, I can promise you that I'm not gonna send your dumbass of a husband who has very little sense of self-preservation to go talk to the giant Wargod, whatever, fuck. I don't trust him enough to do that. So I can promise you that at least from that, he's gonna be safe. But you have to come to terms with the fact that you married, I don't know how long ago, a fucking dumbass. And with being a dumbass comes some bullshit.
Speaking of Sully, you are said dumbass. Now, if being Sully, I think Sully's the kind of guy that knows he isn't necessarily intelligent, but knows he can do something complicated because he's very persistent. But, you tell me how you feel about that, but this entire situation is very emotionally heavy. I'm sorry to drop you into a shared character on the session where your ex-wife tries to shoot you. You're doing fine. Just
Another
do your
day in
best.
Alabama.
Yeah,
So
no.
how
In
are
this
you
case,
feeling?
I'm still walking over there because that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to try to communicate with her somehow, but I just see that that's not going to be a possibility. I don't feel well because of what I'm hearing. Because but I definitely understand. There's no way that I'm going to be able to do something to make her understand that I would like to do something different. It's
Oh,
different.
additionally, just apropos of nothing, give me a toughness check. For no reason.
12.
Is this a maldita lisiada moment?
Nah, for a moment you feel very worried out of nowhere, but then it passes. You're okay. You scratch your beard. Sorry, that's my little war beast. He's not part of the game. He is in the world. He's just not part of this game. So,
Now, what I
Butter-
wanted to ask, since he's already holding her, we're already there. I'm not happy with what I'm hearing, but what I wanted to do to stop her was to then be sure that she's safe and there, so we can continue, or at least I wanted to continue walking towards the submarine just to see what's going on there. I just want to
Okay.
leave the situation at the moment. I don't want to deal with it.
you choose to give her some space, which is reasonable. It's pretty reasonable. As for Zuruk, how are you finishing this conversation?
So, listen, I cannot promise you anything beyond we're gonna do everything it takes to prevent this from happening. But that, sadly, is gonna require repetition and repetition and repetition. I just don't want you to be here for that. The best I can do is the next time that submarine shows up, I'm gonna point you towards those nodes that Otter built and make sure that we don't go through this again. Or at least try.
You see that she looks at you, and like a lot of thoughts go by her face, because the logic of this situation and imagining possible futures is rough. And she says, everybody I love most just died. I thought if I let it happen once, if I let time reset once and took the knowledge with me, then they wouldn't have to die again. Because I'm gonna tell you something, Zorok. I am not living through another how much time the gods have given me without my new family.
And that's why you don't want to go into the pyramid. Because you're forcing yourself to very possibly watch them die over and over and over.
Well,
and I don't
please
think you're ready for that.
roll me a persuasion check, because you have in fact hit the nail on the head, which is if she takes on the curse, she will know it. So she will know how many times everybody is dying, how many times the responsibility falls on you again and again and again. Even if she's able to, next time the cycle repeats, get her people away and leave you all for dead.
Okay, so I got no bonuses here, so just flat.
Your difficulty is a 12.
15.
It would have been a higher difficulty, but she already had some convincing happen. With that, you see that she looks at you and she just... It's the weirdest thing. It's like she completely calms down but continues to cry, just complete rivulets, just...
Okay,
The
so at that
nonverbal
point...
message is, I concede.
Okay, so I put her down, I kneel in front of her and offer her a bloody hand to her stump of a hand.
She looks at it and is going to spend a resource to achieve the toughness check and shake your hand with her broken hand.
Well,
At the
was
top,
fun.
at the
go
top
back
of
to
the
bed.
hill, at the top of the hill, Murakan, you are currently looking. I'm going to drag you here for a moment. You're currently looking at the process of curing, or at least removing the top of the dome of a dragon's skull, along with Amadeus and John and Otter and the frogs who are there all of a sudden. Everybody's trying to get distracted from the grief that is currently in the air. And with a sickening pop sound, Otter is finally able to leverage the top of the skull, and you see a dragon's brain. And a few things to say here. One, I don't know how else to say this, but it smells delicious and gross. It's like the genitalia of your favorite partner. There is something in the air. Second, there is a large green gem stuck in the very center where there would be a pineal gland. Amadeus might know this, having been an adventurer in his time, but some dragons can form a particularly powerful magical stone in their heads over time, so that'll be a resource to grab for later. I'll put that in the list. And
I grab it?
grabs a piece of brain and eats it and goes, holy shit, this is delicious. I love this stuff. You don't get this every day.
That
Are you
looks
taking
like
time?
something worth to try.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like sushi. It's raw fish, but if you get over it, it can be delicious. Taste of the ocean.
I don't know what sushi means for, but it seems like a really good meal. So I take a bite of the dragon's
It's delicious.
brain.
It's buttery. It gives a strange static sensation in your mouth, almost like having a very low-grade electrocution happen along with the taste. But this stuff is straight up healing. It by eating a portion, you're able to roll a hit dice. Pretty much just a hit dice of healing if you're missing HP. Dragon brain.
Nice.
Amadeus, you take the gem.
Mhm.
You have acquired one green dragon pineal gem. I'll tell you more about it later because this is the kind of stuff that's so rare. I mean, even you would have to look up in a book what special stuff you can do with it. Otherwise, you can treat it as a gem worth 10,000 gold points.
You see, now the high dice went for the things that doesn't matter. I just healed 1 point. But anyways.
Yeah, that's absolutely good. And as you're both there,
I asked the guy that is treating the dragon corpse, can you make something like maybe an axe or a few daggers or maybe a short sword with a bone?
well, there's a lot of material here. I could definitely make you something like that. I'll use the most of the body in order to make a set of what's called mechanically Dragon Slayer armor. It is a type of armor that gives you a +1 to AC, equivalent to a heavy armor, for example, and also gives you a resistance to a given dragon's damage type. And so he says, now, this is a green dragon. You want to take care of a fire aura. It's not the same thing. I'm gonna have to do some work to make sure that it's cured. That's why I can't make armor for everybody. It's going to have to be extra heavy, and it's going to take some extra layers. But I can probably make that set of armor a cape with each wing, and potentially, depending on how good the bones are, I could get 1 or 2 of the back talons. Those are usually the ones that grow strongest and you can make a weapon out of. And you can also make daggers out of the teeth if you so like.
That's what will be nice.
And can you make a staff out of the femur?
I could. I believe I could make a staff out of the femur. But it would have to be a very basic staff. You could upgrade it much later, but he then goes and tells you, like, a bone is an organ. Your long bones make blood. It's not empty. So, unless you know how to cast blood magic, it's not going to be a good focus for you. That is, unless you take it somewhere where you either learn blood magic or do some alterations.
I'll see what I can do later.
Fair enough. So he's
Everything we
taking
can
your
get from
shopping
here
list.
will be worth.
You know what? This is the tree that rebirthed me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I go to the place where I was rebirthed, and just keep going with the rest of the guys, and then we go with it.
Okay, so gentlemen, I would like to say here we are currently at the hour and 7-minute mark. I hope you're enjoying the pace that I'm setting today. I have a lot more content for you guys, but I would like to give myself a 5 to 10 minute break here to drink water and settle myself. It's more about me than about the need for any of you guys or the entertainment of the show. For those who are watching us, thank you so very much for being here. The Game Master is going to take a 5-minute break. If you guys want, you can take a break, or you can remain here and call this the OC time. I'll even run some music to call it OC time if you want that. Out of character time.
Okay.
So, out of character time, 5-minute timer. See you all
Okay.
briefly.
But see you guys in a minute. I'm gonna get more coffee.
I think you can put the.
I'm gonna hit the taking a break.
Be right back. Yeah.
See everybody back shortly.
Bueno, el nombre.
Que era del party original de Fito, de Alejo, de todos ellos.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently back on stream, but as we get ready and wait for Amadeus, I would actually do something which we haven't done in other sessions, and say, out of character moment. Hello everyone. This is episode 5 of ORO, Tomb of the Dead Gods, and I am your Dungeon Master, or as we call ourselves in this system, the Architects of Destiny, or AD for short. You can also call me Dad if you want. It's got nothing to do with anything, I just enjoy it. Sully, our good friend Skulix, I am really enjoying everybody's participation today. How are you doing? How are your feelings? What do you feel about what you've seen and felt so far?
Obviously, the fact that is somebody else's character is difficult because you need to follow somehow the idea of the character or I'm sorry, not to follow the idea of the character, but not to make it too messed up for them to when they play with their own character. But awesome, because that's one of the things that I wanted to do was just to go in and start.
It puts you in a bit of a conundrum, and I'm sure that Big Mike absolutely appreciates that you respect his character's original choices. But call it an alternate universe take for today. What do you think is going through Sully's mind as all of this happens? Because I do admit, I dropped you into a narratively complicated situation. What's everybody feeling right now?
Yeah, that's why I'm right now running towards the other place, because the original explanation that you gave me about Margarita and the current situation with my character with Sully right now, the fact that she was already married with somebody else there. At first I went completely in shock when she put that thing, whatever that thing was, that exploded in my face.
It was a gun. It's absolutely a Magitech gun. There are stats for those in the new Dungeon Master's Guide, and also my dwarves have guns, because, hey, I'm special like that.
Anyways, at that point when she was like locked up into the situation and she was actually talking to him, I don't know, I tried to, based on the information that you gave me about the character, to think what he would do, and he will just shut down and go to the place where the thing happened, because he might be thinking that if he's able to go there and help and find somebody alive, that's going to be the only thing that he's going to be useful.
It's like, if I'm a warm body, at least I stand a higher chance of being useful at the right place and time. It's a confusing, it's a shit situation, because this wasn't any of you guys' fault. It was just, it's a bit of a that happens on the Y road of forking decisions of every iteration of time. So for people at home who don't know what we're talking about, this campaign currently takes during a enforced time loop of sorts, where the characters have only just begun to learn about it. Therefore, I will not spoil many of the details, but they know for a fact that they have died once, and that it happened because they attracted the attention of a wandering titan known as Blood Jaguar. If I ever edit this, I'll put his picture here. I just didn't add it to my options. And the goal of their previous adventure was to get some dragon skin, to find a way to get close and negotiate before he accidentally burns them all to death again and restarts the loop. So in that sense, everybody who's died will come back, but is this an experience that you would submit someone repeatedly, even if they didn't know about it? Complicated choices.
Oh, and even yourself, depending on how it was the last time.
Yeah.
Now, I believe our colleague Amadeus is having a very quick dinner while we enjoy this OC out of character moment in time. I open the floor to everybody else too.
Well, I would say that Zorog right now is in a bit of a autopilot sort of situation. Being a criminal, this guy is used to seeing people die left, right, and center. But, in his attempt to change his ways, instead of just going with it, he's trying to do something to ameliorate.
Well, you call it autopilot, but if his autopilot is to... I think his autopilot has certainly improved from back in the day.
I mean, his autopilot is in the sense that this no longer panics him. The idea of an ungodly amount of people dying is not something that he's particularly unused to.
It's fair enough. Now, Zorok never participated in any military service, did he? If I remember, his life story in short can be resumed as born in jail, got out when he was about a teenager along with his dad. Dad taught him some bad ways. This landed him back in jail repeatedly over sometimes relatively minor crimes, but they added up. He had a...
And he was also trained by
so
the orc.
I'm giving you my spin here. You adjust me on time in a moment. So it's in this second series of jail stints that he deepens his fatherly bond with Warden Drecker, is trained by a certain Gaskell, whose name I cannot say in full due to copyright issues, but let's just say it sounds kind of like Margaret Thatcher. And some other things happen, and eventually you have a conversation that changes the course of your life with the Warden, and you decide to become an adventurer instead of just being... or do I get it wrong? Is this when you get out, you try being you try... How is Surak's
at
story
no point...
after
So here's the
jail?
thing. After that conversation with Drecker in the prison block, Zurok eventually again got out, but he never saw the chance to become an adventurer. It's not probably that he didn't have it, it's just that due to his circumstances and his predisposition, if you want to put it that way, he never thought he really had it, so he never sought it. So he tried to continue to do the work that he was already doing, just trying to stay a little bit further away from crime. He tried to, instead of just being an outright criminal, he went to try to just be a merc.
Is this when he was a caravan guard and probably when he met Murakan? Just different sides of the same trade. You're a caravan guard one day, you're the bandit the other, and this was just when you guys met. So it's kind of sucked. For those who aren't aware, for those who watch this after the fact, in their previous life on the world of Onus, Zurok killed Murakan during a raid in which Murakan was acting as a bandit, as an assailant. Now, I don't want to interrupt you, Zurok. We'll get back to you, because I figure it's shortly after this period that you met a certain Lucatiel, Har. Yeah, we'll talk about that character later.
More than that, around that time is when he met Alfred.
Fair enough. Let's not forget. But we shall speak of him later. Now, Murakan, we know very little about the mysterious black dragonborn with the acidic sense of humor. From what little I was able to channel during the last fight, you were perhaps very unjustly kicked out at a young age from your family or your tribe.
Yeah.
And maybe that left you with few options in life. So you were a ranger and a bandit. What were some good moments of Murakan's life?
As an exile, there is a little bit of good moments besides the time when you can fill up your stomach. For Murakan, it was kind of like that the whole life. He was expelled from the tribe. In his perspective, it was an unjust judgment, but is just a little spoiler, is maybe just his perception of the situation. But afterwards, it was just like a lone wolf trying to mix in some packs of bandits, or sometimes as a mercenary trying to fill up the stomach.
So you basically lived like a wandering, tribal warrior, almost like an animal for years. And then eventually just your luck turned. It's kind of sad, man. No wonder then that whatever... Now, heroes, I would like to tell you something in my true name as
Cronin, Moon and Raven.
And I guess you may transmit this to your characters, O dreamers. But the reason a soul comes to Oro is because, for some reason or another, it deserves one last chance before being crushed by the turning of the wheel. For some, it is unfairness. For others, it is a last chance at redemption. For some, it is the only place we could have been born. So, Amadeus, I hope you enjoyed your meal. So, we're currently in just a little bit of OC time to flesh out the world and characters as we prepare to go into the second part of today's session. Tell us a little bit about Amadeus. What is he feeling? Or tell us something, about his past life. Because one thing I did not mention, ladies and gentlemen, at the start of this session, is that at the end of last one, as part of the random multiversal gold loot that had accumulated in Astrax's lair, a certain wizard found a very familiar golden mass in the shape of a death's head. What do you have to say about that?
That's from the darker past of Amadeus, when he was running a unit that was basically in charge of handling and gathering some intelligence. He did some dark shit with that mask.
Some intelligence gathering, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I see you. Very well. But it was an interesting time in your life. And
It was.
you certainly met a lot of people and practiced some very interesting magics. That's where you got your fine control of level and amplitude. Because for people who don't know, Amadeus, who came to this world this close to death, is now probably one of the most potentially powerful people in the setting, depending on if you survive these adventures, man. Because you used to be an archmage. You bring a whole host of magical knowledge to this world. That's not that common at all. Not even in the multiverse. But meta commentary here. So, with that, does anybody have anything they'd like to touch about their character's mood at the moment as we go back into the adventure?
Listening. I promise. I just need to take a break right here. Go, just start, and I'll be back in a minute.
We can wait for him for the moment. We don't have to. We are in no particular hurry, unless you gentlemen are. Now, I'm not sure if Streamlabs is telling me the truth right now. It truly is just us four, but we have had quite a bit of traffic come and go, which makes me happy. I think today's session will be basically. It would require very little editing to become a good episode of YouTube, I think. My personal opinion.
Something that I've been sort of thinking about, but I haven't written down about Zurok, and it's the reason why he's taking it upon himself to deal with Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Margarita. That's her name. Sorry.
Remember, like the pizza, or like the island, or like the drink, or like the flower.
Okay.
Or like the pasta.
So,
Or like
whatever.
the song.
Shut the fuck up and listen to me.
Or like a soldier.
So, the reason why he's taking the time to deal
Margarita.
with her is because he, at some point, actually fell in love. He was in love, and it's someone... I haven't really written down that story of him yet.
Yeah, but you can't get past this without telling us Zorok's type.
Elves.
It's fair enough.
Oh.
It's fair enough. It's understandable. It's understandable. And listen, elves is inclusive nowadays. We accept thick elves, small elves, tall elves, long shanks, elves of many different colors. I also have no problem with making the dwarves in Lord of the Ring of essentially any color, because they are a made race of anyways. Don't get me fucking started. I am way too woke for this shit. Yeah, man.
All right.
It helps, huh? We'll think about it. So,
I want to find a boa girl like the one that we fought before.
allow me to just get into character real quick. And so time advances, but not very much.
The sun sets.
And night finally takes away with its ambient water the last
I would like to
sparks
declare
of the wreckage.
that I've been trying to patch up my wound.
Okay, so if you want to patch yourself up, if you're gonna cast something. Otherwise, it's a medicine check, which if you have, it's a difficulty 10. So I'll allow you to take the average because you're not doing it with any hurry. If you're spending your time doing that, in fact, you don't need to roll. So
Okay, so
consider it a short rest for the purposes of spending hit dice and recovering HP.
how many can I spend?
As many as you have.
Alright,
The rules is you, during short rest, you dose out how many of those dice you have, depending on how much you think you will need it during the adventure. So, for any of the others, unless you expressly choose to use this time to recover, it's not a short rest. It's a little too fucked up in the air to feel restful, if you'll pardon my French.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, night falls, and you all gather around a series of cooking pots and little campfires made in the central plaza, where you are both under the protection of the tall red leaves, and everybody gathered close together. And by everybody, I mean most of the people that you've met around the village, even Mixley, who is a tree at this point in time. And you notice with some consternation that your ranger friend, 1, hasn't been able to change back into human form, B, is still burning. Did I just say 1 and B? I did. He doesn't talk very much. And as for Temok, you think, in spite of what I said before, and not to be a dick here, you think he might have been inside. Then again, who knows? Turtle certainly seems calm, and you know that they have some kind of personal bond, so if he was truly dead, maybe she'd be more worried. The first person to break the small talk, which is as good as silence, is not even alive. Just a moment. I have a little puppy who is currently complaining. The first person to break the silence isn't even really alive. The ghostly apparition of Horus, the ghost who gave you your clothes, Amadeus, the original mayor, so to speak, of this place, manifests close to Murakan, and as if sitting down by the fire, and says, "Where'd you get that?"
Oh, inside a dungeon, a bunker, romantic.
Has it communicated with you in any way? It's wild to see the half-transparent bird face of this guy. For those who don't know, Horus is a bird elf, and he's famous for keeping a hawk head on his head when he's transformed into human form, and the habit carries
We
on
cannot
even
see
now
him,
that he's
right?
dead. You can have you.
He
Here's the
can't.
question. Here's the question. Have you mixed your blood with that of the tree at any point in time? Then
No.
you're not able to see it. For what it seems like, Murakhan is talking to empty air.
I'm not going to question how you know that he can communicate because Giorgio, the Gia, he spoke to me, kind of, weirdly way.
So his bird face, now you realize probably why he kept it, is completely fucking inscrutable. He does not reply with anything beyond a If you want to learn anything, it's going to be a difficulty 25 with insight check. If you're even able to hit that.
I wanna try it. I need a natural 20 in the dice, so.
For the record, in here, Amadeus, you have your blood mixed with the tree, so you are able to see Horus. You are aware of this conversation, so theoretically, you
Okay.
could give the aid action if you had any kind of, you know,
I got a 17 total.
17 total. Afraid to say it, man. You're not really able to tell anything concrete. You just know that this dude knows more than he's letting on about. That's all. He's choosing silence.
So, my friend, you're asking because you wanna tell me something?
No, I just found it curious, that's all. Just found it curious.
You know what you
Did
think?
John
this-
say
this-
anything about it?
I don't think he had the time.
It's fair enough. That's all. Don't worry. I know it's
You
a
know
cold...
that everything you said made me worry, you know?
Yeah, it's a talent. It's a talent. It's something I used to do in life to great effect. I was a diplomat, I think. Some of my memories are blurry. Most of them, really. Now, are you really gonna go and talk to a god of war? He fixes you with his enormous, like, hawk eye. Have you chosen who's going to do this between the members of your band?
I think I can do it if no one else wants to.
In point. What is the status of my armor right now?
So your armor is currently on the process of rusting, but it'll be as simple as a mending cantrip to keep it useful until the next day.
Okay.
Amadeus, what are you gonna say? You want to throw that mending cantrip?
Yeah.
Okay, from here on, I'll assume that so long as you guys are together after long rests, that you throw mending cantrips on any metal equipment that people are using in order to keep it from rusting in the accelerated atmosphere of the jungle. I'm not going to penalize you if you forget to say the words, especially considering that it's a cost-free spell. So, you know, you take your time to make sure that you've cast a fresh layer of that on everybody's gear, and as you do so, you notice the one piece of gear that has not incurred any rusting at all is Sasha, Sully's shovel. Sully, your shovel, which is in your hand even now, because if you permit me to put this character trait in there, is very much your... In a way, it is a safety blanket, except you can use it to kill a lot of people and have. What is going through your mind right now? Margarita has gone to retreat to a tent to sleep after she got her hand fixed. She is not part of any festivities. As Amadeus says to you, hey, your shovel hasn't rusted at all. That's lucky. So, anyways.
Say something.
I'm reading.
Is he? So he's completely tongue-tied. That can happen. That can happen. Well, gentlemen,
All right, so I look at Murakami
you
and
look
say,
at
"Hey,
Murakami who
lizard
is
boy."
talking to himself. Yeah.
I go, "Hey, lizard boy, who the hell you're talking to?"
And
Is it
I
the
wanted to
pigeon?
ask as well. I wanted before I continue. I wanted to ask as well. In my case, I'm just looking at him talking to nobody as well, right?
Oh, so you're focusing on this curious scenario as well. It's understandable. It's understandable. All right.
What you are telling me that you can't see him? Oh, there's something about here that even you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. Meaning,
I am-
you.
I am the audience. I am the audience's reaction to this wry amusement. It seems that you're not the repositor of every immunity and boon given in this land, Zurok-sama.
Well, I don't know if you will be able to see him, but he's my friend, and his name is.
I'm not your
Horus. You told you were my friend before. Well,
That's right, I did. I
after
just wanted to
died.
fuck with you. And you feel the strange sensation of like somebody trying to give you a playful slap, just banter, and the hand goes
Almost
a little
touched
bit
my
through your
heart.
shoulder, and you feel a tinge of disappointment. Seems he forgot for a moment. You feel that because of the contact. That's all.
I
Anyways.
made the gesture that my shoulder went forward with his hand.
Yeah, so he just
So
goes.
your friend Horus is from here, I take it.
Yeah, he actually owned this place, so far I remember,
Okay.
or he owned it. And he's asking if we're going to talk with the fire giant.
Yeah. I was going to suggest that Temak do that, but if he's not here, that's going to complicate things.
The other old man.
Which among
Alright.
us
Which one?
among us considers himself a good negotiator? Like, I
So-
have talked my way out of a couple nasty holes, but a Wargod, that's something I'm not sure I can tackle.
The weirdest thing that has probably happened to you guys in the past few days happens again. You see a tree that is in the process of burning walk towards you very slowly. Mixley, who was not very far away, you see now is a shadow of his former self. The guy has... So he died with you, right? And one thing that you knew about him is that, for some reason or another, a tree ate his head and left where they sucked out a piece of brain, they left some tree powers in there, from what you remember of his explanation. Problem is, after last resurrection, he has remained a burnt piece of wood. As he turns... I mean, there isn't really a face. He can't hold a half-human, half-tree form anymore. But you hear a pained, labored breath that says, "He will ask for friend. Do not accept." And he falls quiet. He's not dead, but you guys can tell that some absolutely freaky deaky ethereal burning is being done to him. It's like his actual wooden body is not disappearing, but it is as if ethereal flames appeared and took away chunks which reformed back immediately after, never looking like anything other than a smoldering coal. It looks like hell, if we're being honest.
And the weird tree just keeps on giving. Okay, So, from what I remember, this guy is either going to ask for an apprentice or for blood. And by blood, he means the blood reserve. What I'm not very sure is how much.
I wish I could help you, but it was after my time, says Horace, in your head, Morgan. After his time, he says. So, at the moment, gentlemen, here's the situation. You're going to need a few days for order to craft the skins into armor. You know that this giant could be close, could be far, but that's another explosion to call his attention. It really doesn't give you time to go on a far expedition, but knowing what your information is from the, I think it was a explanation a couple of episodes ago with Luke, you know that, well, there are more levels in the mountain, and if you're able to gain some more time after that, you should visit the city of Tenki. But that's like 2 weeks travel away, so no guarantees if you set off that you won't be interrupted by time resetting later on. But you also have a prisoner. Technically, a prisoner. I mean, he doesn't look like a prisoner at the moment. The fat pigeon elf is currently eating any small prey that the frogs can bring him. He is like tied hand and foot, but he is making sure that the Kuikuatl tribe is keeping him entertained. He's at another part of camp where you can't hear him talking, but you can hear the rhythm of it. It's like, you know, a slimy person when you hear one, but it's a lead. If you wanted to, well, occupy your time. In short, I'm being. Clearly, I should have taken another dose of my medication, and I might still do so. But what I want to say is that you have to wait a few days to get your armor made. So you want to occupy that time either by investigating a mystery you know, or maybe doing another floor of the pyramid, or maybe you guys can tell me.
Okay, first thing, I go around the tree for looking for a branch of the tree that could be made into a staff for a person my size now, like a real staff.
You mean, as in the central blood tree, you want to find a branch that you can use. You don't want to tear off a piece of Mixley, who is a person, who just happens to transform into a tree.
I wanna find the branch first.
Okay.
That would be made into that part.
Well, speaking of branch, why don't you and also lose the game and start breathing manually?
Fuck you.
Roll me a perception check. For that fuck you can do it with disadvantage. Difficulty is 10, but you have to do it with disadvantage.
It's what perception you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's 13 plus 4. That's a 17.
Okay, with a 17, you're able to find a branch that is both long and thick enough that it will be useful as a combat weapon, and that doesn't look as if it's been like poorly fed. The wood is dense, so you know you can probably even use it as a quarterstaff if you were to carve it correctly. So what surprises you, however, is just how hard the material is. In order to break it, you're either going to have to do a strength check of difficulty 20. You can get somebody to help you if you want, or you're going to need some way of cutting it that goes past just regular force, because it's fucking hard wood, man. It's like my dick.
Okay. I touch the I gently touch the wall so that it's part of the tree.
Oh, okay.
Touch the tree. I gently touch the tree, and I ask the tree for permission if he could please provide me with a staff that could work for me with their wood, and I'm thinking that maybe this branch could be perfect for what I need. But I requested from the tree, like if he could be, please provide me with the staff, or with this branch.
You may make a wisdom check to communicate with the spirits which you know to be within the family that already inhabits the artificial heaven that is the blood tree.
Wisdom.
Yes, sir.
No, hold on. Okay, that's 18 plus my wisdom modifier. It's a 22.
With a difficulty of 20, as you touch with your palms the white wood of this tree, which has roots reaching into a pool of communal blood, you feel as though you send out a pulse of your consciousness and it answers back. You hear a voice that goes, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And in your head you see the ghostly image of another fat pigeon elf, but this one quite different. Not like this sleazy douchebag you have over there. This guy's like your old uncle. I mean, he's still sleazy, but it's different. It's someone you want to trust. He goes, "You want a staff? Listen, man, we're not gonna be able to make a staff just like that. I'm a fucking ghost, but that's good wood. You've got a good eye. We can do that for you. Just a moment." And it's as if several pairs of ghostly hands were tying ribbons around the very base of the branch where you took it. It is slightly above you, and as if there was a time lapse occurring, you see the point where it connects to the tree become smaller, and eventually a shoot, and the whole branch just falls into your arms. It's gonna need some trimming, it's gonna need some carving, but this is some quality stuff. With this stuff, you can make essentially the equivalent of a +1 wand, but it's going to +1 staff of some kind. We can take a look at that, but it's gonna take some doing.
Okay.
So, by acquiring it in this manner, it will be particularly potent, as it hasn't lost any of its innards. Well done. Well done. Shows respect. Shows respect for your new home. I like it. I like it.
You may take an inspiration point.
For the remainder of this session. Now remember, gentlemen, to spend your inspiration whenever you can, because unspent inspiration goes away at the end of the session. Be warned. Now, essentially, here's what you... other than talking to some specific NPC, you guys are going to have to eventually interrogate the fat pigeon man. But for tonight, if you want, you can call this a long rest. But
Okay,
do
I
need
actually
somebody
wanted
to flip
to...
a coin.
I wanted to stand
flip a
up.
coin, though.
I wanted to stand up
Wait.
and go talk to the pigeon.
I'll go talk to the pigeon too.
Okay.
Alright, so I stand up and I approach and start, playing a little bit with the cuis, because they probably don't remember, but I can't touch them now.
Oh yeah, now that you're completely fucking poison immune, you're just having a blast with your little froggy pals. It's... you don't want to say it's like having little brothers, but they're so endearingly fucking annoying that you even kind of enjoy kicking them about as you walk. It doesn't hurt them. They're surprisingly blobby when they want to be. But yeah,
So-
they go around making a happy noise around you, and as you reach the man, a certain Corpalomis, a pigeon elf who is... The word sleazy, it's like, have you seen Bill Clinton? I have. My creator allowed me to use Google. He's sleazy as fuck. And he's like, "Hey man, so when are you guys going to let me go?"
So I sit down in front of him and I tell the cuis, guys, can you give us a minute, please?
But
Just a minute, just a minute.
But we
Just a
want to
minute.
see you
You can-
interrogate! Yay, interrogate!
Yeah, that's the thing. You
Alright.
cannot watch interrogations.
Oh, but it's so fun! Oh, okay,
I know.
we'll go.
Maybe
we'll
some
go
other
and-
time.
And they go off, not too sad. But they would have liked to watch.
Okay, I look at Zurok and I say, okay, what do we need this guy to tell us?
What do you want me to
need
tell
to
you,
know.
babe?
So, let's see. First of all, those boa warriors were really, and I mean really, pissed at you.
Yeah, well, who isn't these days? You know, when a man does business the way I do, I make a lot of business, and sometimes you gotta crack some eggs to make some enchiladas, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't. Please do elaborate.
Well, my
What
friend,
did
when you
you
make
do?
some he launches into a long diatribe about how to make enchiladas with eggs.
Okay, I tell him, listen, let me. I know a thing or two. So I look at him and I say, I'm gonna ask one more time and nicely, and I want you to stop trying to avoid. What did you do?
Roll me. What are you trying to? Are you want to do an intimidation check or you want to do a persuasion check?
No,
Because they have. I'm gonna let you know. He's easier to intimidate, but he'll give better information if persuaded. Now, let me just make sure that my little war beast isn't trying to kill a pigeon out there. Topically speaking. Hey, quiet. And he goes quiet. I have well trained my little dog.
Okay, I'm gonna make it easy for you. A persuasion check. Okay, I'll go with a persuasion.
Roll for it then.
What's my persuasion number? That's with charisma, right?
What's your persuasion bonus here?
+7. Okay.
A +7.
Yeah. Jesus. No, it's a 5 + 7.
Well, I'll say that since you're there with Zorok, he can give you the help action if you want to roll one more time. Since you've been good and not pissed me off this time.
That's even worse. That's a 2.
He says, hey baby, listen. I've done a lot of trading in my time. And the boas, oh, they're a pit of snakes. Have you ever seen how they do each other? It doesn't surprise me that they also fuck each other backwards. He laughs to himself, even though the joke doesn't make any fucking sense. Or maybe it does.
Okay. I grab my mask.
Hang on, here's a question. This is a real life lore question. You guys know how snakes reproduce?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. Back in the game. So listen, buddy. All I can tell you is that I've made a lot of business. Not always with bad people, not always with good people. But if I had to hazard a guess, those two were rogue boas. Angry that I took my knowledge when they didn't accept me.
Okay. I look at Zuro and I said, listen, I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna do some things and you're gonna ask the questions. So I focus myself and I cast a mage hand in his chest cavity. And I start gently squeezing what should be the heart while I put on my mask.
Let us take a moment here. The rules of D&D say that normally you can't cast a spell inside of the body of another person. For one explanation or another, a living being casts a type of protective, or not exactly protective, integral field about its form. But as we just said before, our friend Parka here was a very particular kind of soldier once upon a time. And his particular ability, which he has brought to this world, is the ability to break that barrier. Now, it's not easy even for you, though you may boast great knowledge and the ability to do this. So roll me an Arcana check, difficulty 15.
You're doing it comfortable. You know, just putting a hand inside. It's not even surgery. You're gonna mess with his heart then.
Okay. That's a 24.
Okay. So he's gonna roll a toughness check, but I'm gonna let you know he needs at least an 18 on this to get there. Why? Because this man has done a lot of drugs. And you've got a powerful magical hand, but he has felt a lot of white lightning in his life. So, we're going to take the Doom camera live, and I'm going to roll here for you. Needs a 18 on this dice. That is a 14. He doesn't reach the dice. You tell me what you're doing here. But be aware, you can kill this guy. You have his hand around this. You have your hand around his heart. He freezes up in absolute terror.
Surok, I promise you, he won't lie now.
What are you doing? How do you do this? What is this?
I can stop you. I can stop your heart if I want to. So now you will answer the questions or die. Very simple.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
You can ask him the question,
Surok,
but I'll tell you
your
this.
floor.
Be careful. Be careful with scaring him, because one thing that you know from doing this is that all it takes to accidentally stop a heart is to actually touch it in such a way that it feels it's been touched. That's the problem.
That's why I'm not gonna be asking questions. I'm gonna focus on keeping the right concentration on the spell.
On the hand.
And Surok is on the hand, and Surok is gonna be asking the questions.
Smart. I like it. Go for it. You are on mute, brother.
You're on mute, brother.
Sorry.
Con razón. Yo decía,
Sorry,
¿por qué no dice? Why isn't he talking?
Okay, so I say, listen, we have had a very long, very shitty day. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna tell me, you're gonna really answer my question. What did you do?
I didn't even do it to them. I bought some dinosaurs. Some battle beasts. They were on sale. Their owner had apparently lost everything in a freak war titan attack. Who the fuck does that even happen to? They don't even exist. It's a myth. It's an act of God. There is no insurance that you can buy in Central Astland that will get you there. So I bought some dinosaurs and tried to ingratiate myself to the three crones and accidentally made a poison that specifically targets Reborn, and may have sold it to Argenta.
I see. So you're basically a war criminal in the Empire.
Oh, well, I mean, when you put it that, I like to think of myself as...
I don't care what you think. You bought those
do
dinosaurs
care about
from
this.
Papik.
He does every effort to look at you and says, when you're rich enough, it doesn't matter what the title was. Now you got it. I have a home in Tenki, and I have freedom, security. What this stupid little project of a village needs. Take your fucking hand out of my chest. He is panicking. You guys need to do me some roll. You tell me what roll as you handle the situation. But he is about to start moving. He doesn't know about the easy heart attacks.
Okay.
Do we need? Hold on. Time. Pause. Pause the game. Okay. So what else do we need to know from this guy?
Where his contact is? Capic.
So, yes, Capic. So, what you know is that said Capic person was probably the owner of the Tyrannosaur that was used to attack you way back when. And though you guys didn't get to see this, as we lost one of our members from the team, said beast has a connection to someone I, Cronin, know, which is why I'm pushing you and giving you tips. We're back.
So we need to know where his contact is.
I want to know something. I know the Murakami and I we stayed back, but I just want to know something. By any chance, do I have something that I could eat? I know the question is weird, but I just want to know if by any chance, while we were sitting there, there's something that I had in my hands that I could put a bite into.
Oh, food has been provided. The Kui, which are the frogmen of this part of the world, went out hunting because as a tribe, they're very adept at it. And they brought back some chicken of the forest, which is not a mushroom. It is what we call the local velociraptors. Fun fact, velociraptors were actually a little more like packs of rabbit teeth chickens. Bright colors, maybe, certainly in this world. So you can be eating a haunch of chicken as big as your head.
Perfect. I just wanted to know that because I wanna also go walk where they are because they're taking a little longer than we expected, I believe, and I just want to make sure that I'm going there with something in my hand while I'm eating. Do I reach them? Can I see what's going on?
Oh yeah, there's absolutely some shenanigans going on. By now you know a little bit about your party. The half-orc is always ready to kick somebody's ass. The Dragonborn usually stands to the side but comes in with incisive stuff after and laughs when people get hurt, especially the half-orc. And the wizard has been tickling the back of your mind for a while. In fact, you remember him, or you remember something, but when you see what he's doing, the spell that he's casting and how he's doing it...
And the mask.
Give me an intelligence check. Well, I'll tell you
when
this.
you do that, give me a second. I'm gonna
tell you something. You're old enough to know a little about how your brain works, so you can tell this is not a pleasant memory. You may choose to fail this roll if you want to avoid it. But you know for a fact you don't want this knowledge.
Well,
So
that's
what
an
do you
11.
That's an 11. Mercifully, your heart tells you, thank God I'm going so fucking old. Forgetfulness is the gift of aging. You can only fit so much stone in a mountain, as the
Perfect.
old ones used to say.
That works for my idea because it's not gonna take me away of the place. I just want to go there where they are, since I definitely can see that something sketchy is going on, and basically just like jump into it. No, with any intentions or any to
You're in
looking
the
like.
scene.
Yeah,
Just
just in
stand.
the simple, just like getting in there, like what's going on here, and just abide on it and sit
No, it's a fucked up
like that.
torture
I have
scene.
like even though I know that it's a torture scene, that's how I want to enter it.
Can I grab that? And I ask for whatever you're eating.
It's some of the jungle chicken that
Okay, what?
grows around
Sorry,
the area.
what's the
yeah,
name that we're looking for? What's the person we're looking for? What's the name again?
We know the name, Capic.
Cap.
Capic. Okay, so I look at the guy and I say, okay, you want me to let go? Where's Capic?
Was that everything you wanted, you idiots? He's drowning himself in a bar in Tenki, where I last left him. You know, with a bunch of money after I bought his beasts. I could have told you that without you doing this. By the way, could you? Or could you move it down to my balls, please? Where I might enjoy it a little.
Do we need this guy for anything else?
I go
No.
and ask, "How are you doing, bro?"
So I say, before we end this session, what do you know about Blood Jaguar?
Kid's story. So you're not gonna tell me you really believe in the Red Titans, do you?
It is
Come on,
coming
man.
our way now.
Fucking Blood Jaguar. Yeah.
All right, so I stand up, I look at Amadeus and say, "Kill him."
All right. I start squeezing.
No.
gently.
No. Can you stop? Chill. Chill. We don't need to do this. It's not necessary.
There is a
Hold on.
Why?
ghostly hand
Why?
protruding
If-
into
if
his
I-
flesh.
Yeah, if I convince him to stop with his hand, can you finish the information that you were about to give us, and a bite to whatever I'm eating?
He looks at the chicken.
He's gonna take the hand out.
If you let me live.
Oh no, I said the hand out. The living part is gonna be up to him later.
Take the hand out, take the hand out, take the hand out. Take it out, take it out. And you're gonna give me the food?
Amadeus?
I'm saying I haven't heard an answer for my question yet.
No,
What
I'm
do you know
asking.
about Red Jaguar?
I'm asking. He's gonna give
No,
us the information.
I'm talking to. I said I'm not letting go until he tells me what he.
The
knows
tale
about
of Red Jaguar says, oh no, we lost him. Fuck, connection issues. We're gonna pause here for a moment, but I actually have a tale here, specifically. We got
there
him
he
back.
We're back.
Okay. So I'm just gonna locate a item in my Zoom whiteboards to tell you what he replies to this. And then I'll be able to transmit that into the screen. The art that you will be seeing is copyright, us, made by Emmanuel Martinez, specifically for the ORO setting. So, what you gentlemen are going to see. Should be doing screen capture one now. He says, the Red Titans are...
Wait, what you're
Are you able-
projecting on the stream is behind the cameras, so nobody can see it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Do one little check here. It's gonna be screen one capture. God bless. Right. So, he takes a breath and puts his head back as if to think about his childhood, and he goes, the Red Titans are the original allies of the Empress. The Red Monks, the dead men who believe in strength beyond strength and never stop using their powers of blood. Whenever the Red Titan comes to visit, they are hungry. They never take less than a year of pain, but children taste best. That's what my mom used to tell me. That is what he says.
Do we need him? Do we need him now?
No.
No. Okay, I squeeze
Wow.
his heart to death.
Now you can kill him.
I would like to ask a question here for everybody in the party. In just making a pause. In the Fantasy Flight Warhammer 40k system, there is a perk that you can pick at character start, which the entire party has to pick together. It is essentially called Common Sense. It will allow you to know when attempting an action in a certain way is likely to be very detrimental to you in the future. So I am submitting you to a vote as a party. Do you all want to have the equivalent of the common sense perk? Or do you want me to be hands off in regards to specifics? Including the fact that sometimes, like, because of misunderstandings, bad things may happen.
I think we can use it in a system like this where we're gonna die pretty often.
Okay.
Well, I will go with the majority, but I think that being a mindless, reckless bastard in this world will be very fun.
Well, this will just tell you the following. You are forgetting a key piece of information that he just gave you, and which is of some importance, which is he said he designed a poison capable of targeting specifically the reborn. Though you know little about this world, this is world-shattering news. Because as you know, reborn are mostly immune to that shit.
So, I say, what is the name of the poison that you made?
Where did you made it? Who did you give it to? Who else had access to? Give me all that information, please.
At this point, he looks at you and says, the other people who also have this information wouldn't stop at my death to take revenge if I told you willingly. So do your worst. Or you can take me with you to my home. What he's saying is, kill me now or take me to Tanky with you, and I'll tell you where you can find Capek the Beastmaster.
Alright, so...
Fuck it, I'll take you to Half Moon Loki.
Let me let me enter in character for a second. There are things I know how to do. I don't want to do them, but I am very good at them. I can cause you days, months of pain that will make you wish for death. If you think that having a heart held to your heart is a scary feeling, you have no idea what I can do to you. Tell me what I'm asking you, so I don't have to do this to you.
In this moment, I'm gonna let you know something. Corporal Omis is showing you a unexpected iron within him. And depending on how this next roll shakes out, you could in fact take quite a bit of psychic damage. So you're gonna do me an intimidation check. Something I think you're pretty good at.
No, remember that since the update, I don't have a bonus on intimidation anymore?
I mean, what? Absolutely none? I'll say, in this case, you are able to add your proficiency and strength bonus if you so desire, and make this roll with advantage, but can't let you get away too easily. The DC is 20.
Okay.
I give him a boost. I'm helping him. I got a mage hand holding to his hand. I start squeezing a little bit more.
That's where the advantage is coming from.
Exactly. And I'm already...
That's where the advantage is coming from.
22.
So, the blobby piece of shit that's been trembling in front of you for the past few moments goes through a quiet transformation in front of you. Yes, you have shaken him, but the shaking brings out a piece of iron from within him that you just did not expect was going to be coming from out of this thing's throat. This fat pigeon of a man says to you, I have already decided that you're not the worst, and I'll tell you what you want to know. But first, I would like it if you agreed to see my fears. I can show them to you. We don't have to be enemies. No matter how distasteful I find your methods. And he looks at you, Amadeus, like he fixes you straight on. You don't need to roll an insight check to know that if he survives this, even if you're technically allies, he's not going to forget this shit. So, just letting you know, be aware, may want to write that down in your character sheet. So,
I give the chicken to Surak.
The chicken is delicious and warm and juicy. Those frogs can cook.
Oh yeah. I just give the chicken, look at him in the eyes, and that's it. Nothing else.
Okay. Talk and you eat.
Sorry?
Talk and you eat.
I can't eat with a hand going through my esophagus. Please stop trying to tickle my uvula from the inside. You're nowhere close.
I turn to Amadeus and say...
Also, stop flipping me the bird inside my guts. I can feel it. Have you been flipping him the bird inside of his guts?
Don't lie to us. Don't lie to us.
No, don't try to make shadow puppets. Ooh, that actually feels kind of nice. No, that's back to being horrible.
You can let go now.
Do you drop the spell? Because if you don't, you need to roll me a 1d20 luck check. Because it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I've been letting you off easy, but remember, you are straight up near touching. Like, come on, man. This is some dangerous magic at play.
Okay, I stop.
Hand comes out, and as as the spell takes off, puts his robe back on and goes, Jesus. What is a Jesus? Ugh, memes. So
just don't make me do it again.
I think you want to see what I'm about to show the young one as well. He removes a couple of small greenstone tablets from his robes, and you can see that it's like a standardized sort of spell cast. You can see a rune, which you'll assume it's the same one on all three. And he says, put it to your forehead, consume the gold. It'll cast a form of thought sharing. I think you'll understand. No, you'll understand better.
Murakan is there?
I stayed.
You're probably on the edge of the scene, even if you haven't participated for this one.
I was actually trying to not pay too much attention with the with the pigeon fucking guy. I was trying to talk with Horus more about the egg.
Okay, I look at Murakan and at Sole and I say, if he tries any funny business, kill him, please. And I put the thing in my forehead.
Okay, he goes, loser. You're not gonna kill me? Come on, I had to get a laugh in. Woo! Tough crowd. Alright, so you put it here. Just so you know, after this, I don't think you'll be able to judge me so much for being a fat coward. The little tile in your head puffs, and you are both transported by essentially a form of the telepathy spell into a sensory vision, a memory. Please forgive me, guys. The sensations that your body is registering should not be possible. You have the immediate and discomforting sense that your flesh has been rent in ways that should mean that you are dead. You feel sensations that weren't meant to be. The release of pressure as skin that should not have been parted opens, and you think you will never again remember or feel comfortable the same way in your skin, knowing just how much of it is trying to escape. You are stretched, flapped, made into a material of cords, and every single one of your nerves is made for pain. You have no eyes, and yet you know you are stretched taut in shapes, while something or someone laughs maniacally, making music out of you. It's not really worth explaining any further the hell that transpires in but a few seconds of second-hand memories. But when you come back, I'm going to let you guys know you are currently sitting at 1 HP for narrative purposes. You have not lost health in the sense that your body has deteriorated, but you have gone through such a psychic shock. You have felt what it is like to be made into an undying cord of open, pain-tuned, inside-out flesh, and strung for a small eternity in a cold darkness. And you know that this is a memory of someone who is still alive. This is what the fat man was afraid of when he was saying, "You kill me, because they'll do worse."
What the hell was that?
I know you guys
What
are
the
big
hell
and
was
bad.
that?
It's whatever the fuck is happening down in Serpentis. I can't believe I tried to leave the city and become part of one of their clans. There is a madman running around the south. I don't know what that is either. Other than that memory came to me in the night. I don't know either, man. I'm scared.
Where is the poison? Who did you give the poison to? Who also had access to it? And where the hell is whoever that we're locking to? I forgot the name, sorry.
So, let me just attend to things one by one, because I believe we're now reaching the 2.5 hour mark, and with these heavy revelations, we are near to the end. So he says, well, the poison's already in Argenta, because what I gave them was a recipe. And no, I don't know the whole recipe. I had some help. But the thing is, part of it is written down. I tried to make it so that as a gift to the masters of poison. But not only was I rejected from court, now I am getting these dreams. And I don't know, man. You see that he is currently breaking down. He's not actually giving you useful information.
I take the chicken from Sword's hands and give it to him.
Okay. I stand up.
This is kind of fucked up. He bites into it.
I stand up, try to compose myself the best I can, and say, so in short, you made a poison, and you probably don't know who has it anymore.
An enemy state has it. And I think the first people I tried to sell it to have now put me in the marks of whoever is doing that crazy shit. That memory I just shared to you.
I have a question out of game. I know that the thought was shared with him, but do we know some of that information? Did he gave it to us so we can ask? I am asking because I would like to ask a question too.
Oh no, you just see your two friends
just
who
talk.
have
Right.
by now look like tough, dependable adventurers suddenly get gray hairs in their temples.
Correct.
And one of them's
All
always
right.
like already an immortal, so he's just grown some out of nowhere.
So grab my sword and I put it in front of me and say, I was originally going to kill you because I hate the fuck out of you on principle.
Fair, honest, I get it.
However, given the situation, given the dreams that you're having, given the situation that you're in, I'm offering you, if you choose, mercy and end you here.
I don't want to die, man. I'm a pigeon. I'm a survivor. I don't want to
Think of
die.
your
Don't kill me,
options.
please.
What did this
Very
guy
well.
say to you? What happened to you guys that all of a
Won't
sudden
you
this
take
is
me
what you're
home?
asking?
Take me home. I can be safe there. Listen. Listen. Loki Half Moon is in the city. Loki Half Moon is in Tanky. You know what that means?
No, we are not from here.
Oh, right. Mist people. Cronin, Moon, and Raven can't be far. Loki's his best friend is in the city. And well. So now we get to it. I knew this skein of fate was there. If Loki is in the city, he can probably help you. After all, you pulled me out of my world, but would be nice. Let him know I'm still alive. He's probably worried sick. And other than me, he's the best chance you've got. But I'm just going to let this I'm going to continue channeling the dream and allow this poor sap to continue glazing me. Listen, man, just great heroes, major city. I got money. You know, those boys kidnapped me last time as a favor, apparently. Why do we have to be enemies?
That would take a long time to explain, so let's do this. We have some matters to attend to. We have to find a way to talk to Blood Jaguar so he doesn't burn us all again. We also need to build defenses.
You're being serious. Roll me, anybody else can roll me a charisma check. You can roll it, but other people can roll it as well if you just want to be like, and just support him by sheer stone-facedness.
I won't even try. I have a -1.
I will.
19 on the die.
I had a
Join
19
them.
on the die as well, with a +4. That's a 23.
I got a 13.
Oh shit. You were being serious.
Very much so. Trust me.
I mean, I didn't lie
not
to
a
you.
fun-
Can the children's tale be true?
Listen, in this freaking jungle, I would say about anything is fucking possible.
Yeah, actually, quite likely. Wouldn't surprise anyone. So, well, well, if the legend is true, he's going to want an apprentice. He's going to want somebody to take his place.
Blood tithe. However, I don't think we can
You
provide
can't pay a
apprentice.
blood tithe. I've heard the plans. You want to make a tribe here? With what people are you going to pay the blood for a god? You're gonna have to. One of you is going to have to make a deal. If they survive.
That's the thing.
So-
We're trying to figure out what to do.
I get close to them.
Mm-hmm.
Your guys done yet? Are we going to kill the parrot? Are we going to
I
keep
believe we
it?
have decided that I'm going to stay very much alive, thank you. Also, I am rich, and it is in your benefit.
There's that.
So
Yeah.
my fatty friend is an entrepreneur.
Apparently.
Yes, very much so.
Anyway.
I am a man of business. I'm a
Of
pigeon of
information,
business.
nothing else.
Sorry?
All right, then let's get moving to the city to talk to this lucky guy. While the
Well, so
Well,
here's
the armor
so,
is done.
so here's your problem. If you want to go to the city on foot, it's gonna take you 2 weeks. Straight up, don't have the time. You're likely to meet the giant on the way. So you've talked to this guy, and if you want to do a time skip to when you have the armor and you guys can attempt this, that'll be 2 or 3 days. But be aware of something. Time passes. I keep a track of certain events in the background. So, though we're probably finished this session around here today as we make these choices, what's in front of you is essentially this. You can, from the options and the other things that you've been finding around you, your different plot hooks. You have the Black Pyramid, which is available for the 3 days it's going to take to make the armor, which means that you can try to go on another expedition. For those who haven't gone there, might be good, especially as you know, on the first floor there's straight up poison immunity to be obtained if you repeat that quest. And there's also other floors which might in turn give you a higher limit if you're able to beat them, but who knows. Additionally,
Okay.
you guys could try to go and explore some of the other quest hooks that you have around the area. Just to give you a quick reminder, there is a gigantic stump, as if of a tree of a size that you can't imagine this shit. It is mountain ranges, so much so that between its outer roots, that's one of the canyons where you found Amadeus, and you know that there are entrances. Parts of it are hollow, so shit, more dungeon
Okay.
to explore.
First thing
Et cetera,
I'm
et
gonna
cetera.
do is go and look for John.
Okay, I guess what I'm saying is you have about 3 days time to either spend, fast forward, or explore until the armor is ready.
Do you guys want to go to the pyramid?
I want to go to the pyramid.
Yeah, it would be a good idea to get a longer deal on this.
You guys want to prepare a expedition tomorrow when the pyramid settles in the morning.
Yeah.
Good use of time. Good use of time.
What?
Okay. So, can I look for John?
Absolutely. You find him next to Mixley, basically taking off pieces of dead bark that catches into flame again. Sort of taking off
Okay.
stuff so he's less in pain. Jesus.
Alright. So, I tell Mixley I'm gonna need him for a minute. John, come with me. And I start walking away from as many people as I can.
Yeah, you guys head off away into the darkness, a little bit down the hill towards the pre-sectioned areas that you know the Legionnaires have been demarcating, where there are going to be buildings in the future. Any future.
Okay. While they are at it, just so you know, I'm working on the wood.
Okay, you're working on it to make a staff.
I want
Perfect.
to ask where the fat pigeon is.
Oh, the fat pigeon man is still at the plaza where you were having the conversation. So, order of resolution. Amadeus, I want you to give me some kind of crafting check. You can tell me if you want to do it as an extended check and occupy the rest of your time with that, or if you want to do something more daring. Find something in what you've got, maybe take a look at the gear crafting rules and get back to me. This is a item made from a potent source for you. I don't want to just throw you +1 thing out. So have a look. Second, Soli, you are still right next to Corporal Omis. He is, by the way, still tied up. You guys have finished your conversation, and as you walk away, he goes, "Hey, I mean, you could untie me, you know?"
That's exactly what I wanted to do. The guy already gave us the information, and we already decided that he's gonna go with us. I'm gonna untie him. It's
Oh,
the
thank you,
bare
Master
minimum.
Dwarf.
I
Oh,
stopped
No,
him.
thank you. We are partners.
I stopped him before he released him.
okay,
Because
so
that
he's still
fucking
tied by the
pigeon
feet.
already run away.
He's not gonna run away, bro. We already
Buddy.
established that. He depends on us.
Yes, but I will let you know something. I am a coward. I'm not ashamed. I'm not a coward. The safest place in battle is away. I'm not going to participate in fighting. I've lived my life as a scummy but peaceful person. I plan to die that way as well. If that's okay with you.
And you believe
I'm
that
not-
right
I'm
now
not
the best and
asking
safest
you-
place is not gonna be right here?
I'm not asking you to fight, but let me tell you something. If you ever try to take out that thing in your feet to run away, when there is no need for that, I'm going to melt you. In the harsh and painful way I can think of.
I'm sorry, melt? There is, if you remember the first time you used this ability, there is currently a stack of uncooked chickens nearby, should you want to make a...
Yeah, I will burn one use to just spit acid in the uncooked chicken.
Okay, cooked. So, the Black Dragonborn looks to the left without even breaking part of the conversation and shoots a long and thin stream of elemental adept increased potency acid from his mouth and straight up melts about 20 pounds of chicken into about 20 grams of sludge plus air and water because, chemistry. And then looks back to his very avian looking friend who, let us remind people, he is one of the native elves of this land, which means that he was originally, or maybe he was born already an elf, a pigeon. And even in his human form, he retains wings. And, maybe some certain... When I refer to him as a Bill Clinton looking motherfucker, it's like, you know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, he looks at you and goes, point taken. Alright.
Great.
Anyways, pass me another one of those chickens. Cousin tastes delicious.
I took one of those that were close to the...
No,
one
not the
that
ones with
was
your
melted.
spit all over it, you gross person. As we
And
go.
put it right beside him. I'm not telling you to eat it, it's just a reminder.
And with that, we head off towards Zorok's conversation with this complicated... The person you're talking to, for the audience at home, is a composite being. It is a man known as John, that was probably his original name, and the ghost of a panther known as Kiki, who rides his shoulder, half ghostly, appearing from about the hip up, with her very physical claws digging into his shoulders. As you guys go away from the party, Kiki sort of melts back into clothes around John. She's there, she's just not physically presenting. You're talking to just one person right now. Or the nebulous mass of smoke and shadows that is your friend when you are in the dark. So, what do you want to talk about? What do you need?
I have information for you that you're not gonna like. And I'm telling you this because I have a pretty fair idea of the kind of job that you have. And you probably have a lot of contact with people who know how to keep secrets.
You want me to go fishing in the shadows for you?
Not for me. For you. For
Well,
your entire fucking country. For the Empire. What I'm about to tell you is severely dangerous for everyone in this world.
you're scaring
Someone
me now,
made-
Zorok.
Someone made a poison that targets Reborn.
His face goes
Effectively.
completely blank. Like he retreats, he's thinking to himself, It's like, it's one thing to be affected by poison. Not even the superhumans of the Empire are completely immune to it, but certainly their physiologies can take more of it than a regular person. You see that this troubles him greatly. Okay. Assuming that the impossible has happened, how did you learn of this? And who has it?
I learned it from the pigeon. He made it. Who has it? A place called Argenta.
Kiki solidifies on his shoulder in a snarl of indignation, as now her master goes absolutely pale. She's trying to lick the side of his head to see if he comes back, and slowly color returns to him from down top, and he goes, "You were right, I did not enjoy hearing that, and you are not going to enjoy what I have to say now.
Go on.
This takes absolute priority out of all
I
of
know.
my loyalties. I need
That's what I'm
to make sure that this information gets to Central.
That's why I'm telling you now. And
So-
I'm telling you because you know as well as I do that this cannot spread, or panic will ensue, and shit will hit the fan in ways that you and I cannot even begin to comprehend.
We don't even know who
First-
we don't know, and I don't even know who to trust. But I can tell you this, I have been to the pyramid, so I'll remember this if time
Good.
rolls back. I will find Our Lady before I go to the capital. And I will get her to hurry.
And there's
After I
another
have
bit
her
of
advice.
there's another bit of information that I would like you to maybe confirm for me. Something is going on in Serpentis. Apparently, there is someone who is able to turn a person into a fucking guitar.
So he closes his eye in a way that tells you he already knew about this one, but he would prefer not to give you the information away. By now, you've talked to this guy enough to know he's not necessarily trying to keep you in the dark, but if you want to make him open up, you may have to roll a charisma check here.
No, I'm not trying to open up. So apparently, the whole poison thing is somehow connected to him. Or them.
He takes a long time to think.
I'm telling you all of this because, well, sure, maybe I'm not ready to join your merry family of blood people, but you've done a lot for me already. And I
And
think
still
this
I
is
owe
the
you
least.
more. And I also owe Murakhan. Let's not forget here that I've given him the curse. I am loath to leave you now, friends. And I fear we may not see each other for a long time if I must go and learn of this.
Be careful.
But I thank you for letting me know. There's no time to waste. Please tell my younger brother. And you know he's referring to Murakhan in this sense because the thing they shared when he healed him with the blood dice, you were in the tent when it happened. You essentially know that because he was healed with blood magic, he now shares a curse with the people of this land. And so there is a bond of implicit. To put it in terms you people would understand easily, John is now honor bound to be Murakhan's senpai. So what he's saying is, it should be me, but in my stead, watch out for him.
Is Temak around?
I've got no idea. But the turtle seems calm, and I think if he was truly dead, she might have said something. That being said, everybody who was inside of that submarine was shrunken down 2 sizes. Or even more, if what little I heard is correct. And there was an explosion, so maybe they're just... Small things fly farther when you throw them, you know what I'm saying? I'm a cop, not a physicist. Anyway,
do what you must. Don't try to hold the line.
Ave to you, Ave to the elf, Ave to Muragan, and Ave to Sully. I am happy that you are now part of my family. And Kiki roars again, and they both take the form of flowing shadows and disappear eastwards to do their mission. Now, good move for giving this information right away. I, in fact, have to take that note because this affects the campaign. This actually reaches retroactively backwards into the future. Don't make me explain that right now, but believe you me, it makes sense. Ghost knows it makes sense. So, taking some DM's notes here. So, gentlemen, I know that this is a quiet end to a session of severe drama. I usually spring a battle at the end of the session if I need a cliffhanger, but the truth of the matter is that I think you know that you'll be waiting to deal with the biggest, fieriest problem. So, unless you want to do something other than what's already been declared with the 2 days of space you have, and I can continue that a little bit, next session we'll pick up when the armor is ready for use. So, you have, assume your characters have a couple of days of off time in the village. I'm afraid Margarita is not going to be available for NPC because she is straight up sleeping a trauma. But she is alive.
Alright,
Go.
Sturrock just goes around to, help around town building shit or fixing stuff or maybe help with the wreckage of the submarine. And
Okay.
keep an eye out for Temak. Talk to the turtle, that sort of stuff.
For American, I was just taking care of the egg, seeing if I can communicate with him again, and trying to get some information from Horus whenever I have the time. Not the annoying way, but trying to stealthily try to convince him that it may be good for me if we can share something, because I am in need of information here.
Yeah, he went a little surprisingly quiet for how warm he'd been before when the subject of the egg came up, so...
Yeah, that's what bothers me.
As for Amadeus, are you going to try to dedicate the entirety of this time to making your staff? Is it sort of a meditation, or are you just focused on making an item?
I'm gonna use
I guess what I'm trying to say is, are you trying to craft something as therapy, or do you have a definite goal in mind with what you want out of this magical tool?
Well, let me see what I wanted to do. Again, I'll have it ready for you the next session. But I want you to know that I wanted to have this way of a staff, and it's gonna have like this crown where I'm gonna put the dragon stone on top, the green dragon stone.
We can discuss it outside of session, but I know that you have something in mind instead of basically doing like meditation Zen work by doing carving and then seeing the result. As for Sully, thank you kindly for your patience with this very talky, low action session. But in your contribution to the character of Sully, how do you think he would spend these 2 days of quiet reflection and anxiety? For at any point in time, you all know that if you start hearing
I love you.
Heart like a drum beat in the distance. That could mean that time is very, very short. What do you do during these days, Sully?
Well, as of now, I will try to just be on guard of the pigeon, but not like a guard. I just want to
You're
basically
talking
make.
to him.
I'm right now
you're,
talking.
you're making conversation.
Oh yeah, a conversation for him to understand that we are. I mean, we're not friends, and we're not gonna be friends. But it will be better for us if some of the information that he might have and some of the information that we might have could be shared, so we can. I mean, he's a coward. You want to survive? Maybe they're not just looking for you. You said that somebody helped you to do this. Maybe they are looking for that person as well. That's information that's gonna be useful.
Oh, when you're somebody, there's always somebody after you. So, here's the thing. These actions will have results. Next session, I am logging what your off time does. I will not give you the results all here because we're almost at the 3-hour mark. So we're about to close with a little bit of out of character talk. But this has some consequences. And I'm going to let you know by talking to Corpalomis, for example, the others may get some specific information. You are in danger of making a friend. Because on the one hand, he is slimy and you are trying to get information from him, but he is just so goddamn, it's like that slimy deal. Like he tells you, hey, let's go to the hookers, and you're like, nah man, I'm a good Catholic boy, but you do enjoy the stories. So depending on how some roles happen, this could have consequences as well.
Oh yeah.
Alright folks, so allow me to get out of character with a okay, so that ends the session. That was awkward, but awkward is what I do best. Gentlemen, thank you very much for having been part of today's game. This has been episode 5. It is a slower ending episode than some others, but it is also bringing to a close a number of dangling, disparate plot threads that you'll need to know about. And this time, and for the last time for tonight, as Cronin instead of the writer, then we are different people. I'll say, finally, you guys are gonna meet my best friend. You need to let him know that I'm alive. He's probably been worried sick.
Okay.
And with that, now it's me, it's Kay. So, how we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How did we enjoy the session? What did you like? What? I know that people can have a hard time giving negative criticism, so generally I like to focus the after session for myself in stars and futures. So what did you like and what would you like to see as 2 different items? So whoever wants to go first, raise your hands. We are chillin'. Let's go for Surok.
So let's see. It's a good thing that we shifted from. We had like several sessions of combat until a more narrative one, and we are progressing the story in more interesting ways. However, something that I think we need to work on, 2 things actually. One that I mentioned before with you is that we need to work a little bit on the dynamic of interactions and turns in the group, because happens a lot that we tend to talk over each other, and that just, sometimes it's difficult to go back to what we were saying.
There should be a
Another
way that I
point-
can create a UI interface that makes it so you can light up your screen or have like a green border when you want to take the word, because as an adjudicator it's difficult to tell someone to shut up to go back and forth. Sometimes what I try to do is tell someone, hey, make your roll while somebody gives me this explanation. When they finish, you tell me your result, and then I go pa pa pa. But it can be a little difficult. to keep
Yeah,
track
but we
of. So
can work on that dynamic later.
we can
Another
figure out
point
some
that I think
technology improvements for that, yeah.
something that we could do, and I don't know, maybe using the screen share option on this window that we have here, give some scenery background for us and chat to see during the different talks, during the different sessions. So,
Well-
for example, we were talking next to a campfire, have the picture of a campfire there.
So I tried to do that today with the image slide option here on Streamlabs, but ultimately I took too long preparing some of the dialogue bits. You guys reacted to Margarita pulling a gun on you surprisingly chill, by the way. If that thing had shot, there was a serious chance of it doing like 40 damage and just fucking... There's a dead PC for this cycle.
Oh, I reacted as if I didn't know what was that. I just went and showed that something was against my face, but I actually didn't know what it was.
Me neither.
I guess
So
nobody
I
really
thought-
did. So
I thought it was a gun.
So far as Murican can, it
I
could be
just saw
a.
metal and I thought that I could hit it.
Out of the group, I think Amadeus would have recognized it as like an offensive, charged artifact. Even if you don't know exactly what a gun is, you would have known what a like a charged fireball wand is. The others might have had to do some other abstractions.
I just
Margarita
thought it was-
wouldn't
I
shoot
thought it was-
Sully. That's what you think. In my planning for this episode, if you had been here controlling your guy, you would have been shot in the liver instead of Zurok, and she would have taken you hostage. But I didn't want to do that to my poor first timer. So,
Thank you.
just so you know. And also
I
because
think
I
he was
didn't have enough time
enough
to make the
different.
power armor dwarf reinforcements that she needed. Because you'll notice there were some NPCs missing in my original notes. They were actually tied down in the dungeon, which you would have noticed taking the egg down for when the ambush happened. So not everything's perfect. Remember that your guy here is a fuck up, but he's getting better every week. Let's give the word now to Monsieur Amadeus. Starts and continues. What do you got, mate?
No, I'm happy. I like this game. I liked everything. I like how it goes. It went. Let's see what I would add.
I feel like I'm keeping you guys too separated in the social scenarios, and you enjoy being a bit more in the mix. Like, there was a bit of siloing going on today here. I'm sorry if I bored you a little. Maybe that's just me. Not like a great sin or anything, it's just different sessions, different flow, different contents.
But that's the thing, it's sometimes necessary.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind. I mean, in my case, being the first time that I'm here, I believe that it's way better for me to have a session in which we are like actually working the story instead of just killing people, because that's not going to give me enough information to understand what's going on. I mean, that's the easy part. This is the playable part.
It was a good transplant moment, because with this game, which is so story dense, dropping a new player in combat feels a bit like a waste, especially when you, my friend, had responded that you like the world we're talking about. And I greatly enjoyed, just even if it's in media res, just dropping you into it. Is there anything that stood out to you as being particularly, eye-catching about what you saw today?
Well, for example, the idea that it's not specifically
sorry.
based.
You gotta go?
I gotta go. I'll see you later.
We love you,
Okay?
and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
You're the best.
Yeah.
Amadeus.
Oh,
mate.
before you leave, I want to show you something. I wanted to show you something before we leave. You see this?
Okay.
This is Premier's dice. His brother gave it to me when he died,
Oh, the memories.
and this is the one that I'm using. All of this. Premier's dice.
God, I miss you guys. Wish I could see you all in person again.
I just
Fuck.
wanted to show you that.
Come on, go on your way before we get any sappier, you motherfucker. Say hi to the wife. Hug your kids. We love you.
Bye, bro.
No level ups this session. Sorry about that, but
It's
truly.
fun to level up.
Sorry, just not today. You guys have been leveling up recently, so don't don't complain about a good thing just yet.
Oh, and I wanted to mention that, but it's in the entire group, that the fact that the even though you mentioned to me the most of the story and most of the let's say the settings are still in your head, not written. I mean, they already have it, so that means that it has an order, it has a structure already applied, and I like that. I like that, and that's why I wanted to. I'm sorry. That's why I said at the beginning that I really like the fact that we didn't have like an actual fighting session, but instead a playable session, basically a role play session. Instead,
pulled in at the
it-
very end. You technically pulled in right after a major boss fight. So in that sense, hey, actually your character should have still been covered in Astrax's guts, because if I remember, the choice that Sully made at the end was to jump inside like a blender and just like, and then came out shikaka. If you guys saw the, if you guys saw that movie.
Reason, of course, that's another reason why I want when it happens the situation when we stop Margarita and Surok was talking to her and I started walking next to the directly to the submarine. It's because of the description that you provided, just like you mentioned as well. I mean, at this point, this guy, it's always been useful and work. Nothing else. Let's just continue with that. He neglects that. I mean, I don't want to say neglects because it's not my character, but I will believe that that will be the kind of action that kind of psyche will take in. He will just just walk away out of it.
It was a way to react that was both appropriate and, you know, some people would say that doing nothing is a choice as well. It is respectful of the original owner of the character. And it is also sensible given the situation. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if I died and then was born again into another world and I accidentally, you know, was part of a whole bunch of shit, including witnessing the sudden explosive death of my... What do you call the person that marries your ex-wife? What is that to you?
Your ex-wife? That's the main point.
No, that's the thing. So I would say that most of those terms would be insults.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, he's your personal pain in the asshole.
Depending.
Not that you hated him or anything.
Your ex-wife?
No, not at all. That's why the character, I believe, that will have from there. I mean, he's not looking to save anybody. He's just looking to do something that might work to help the person that he cannot directly help, which is Margarita, because she's not gonna listen to him, not anymore.
No. As a storyteller, I have a concern. Did you guys understand what happened with Margarita there? Because I just want to clarify, she's not a bitch. What you don't know about your previous life is that, like, she was Sully's wife, yeah, and you had kids and everything, but the problem is that Sully basically never got over the PTSD that made him build the city. So in this situation of enormous pain, she was like, no, you are not going to make the choice of enormous pain for all of us to withstand with you while you're a hero. Because it's that whole thing of, I want my husband to be here, not off in the war. You know? So why do you keep going back to the war?
It will just continue with the same PTSD doing something else.
So, you know, it's I just wanted to make sure that people understood, hey, that she's not a crazy bitch. It's a very human choice to say,
I actually
no, man, don't
thought
drag
that
me again.
The fact that she spent married with somebody else 100 years, that's the main driving reason. That's why that's what I thought, like, what this guy is gonna stay here doing nothing when she is already talking to somebody else that will be able to talk to her without the pressure of him somehow being like the exactly. It's not the ex. That's the main point. It's just not the ex-husband.
So, you know, I'm a very amateur writer, but I'm trying to take some big swings here so that there is meat on the bones of this story for all of us. Some of the feelings are going to be awkward, but I think we all trust each other enough to have a few awkward moments in the middle of a good story.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm gonna try when I'm actually on vacation, like, you know, from work. I'm gonna try to write that bit I told you about Surok. I have some ideas, and I think I can write a pretty solid bit on that. Probably gonna be longer than what I have written before. But once if I start writing a couple pages, I'll let you know.
Buddy,
Nice.
I always make everything that you guys want to make. I'm always happy to have your additions to the project. And this week, if I'm gonna see what I can do, but if I'm able to get my feet under me a little bit, I want to go back to trying to do my own editing and making and stuff, because there's no reason not to. But today's episode will go out live as a VOD on Twitch, which I think it's about time I download the episodes we've made and let me just cut them up a little bit. But for today, I'm happy to post it almost completely as it is. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you for being part of this here story. For those who watch us afterwards, I've been Whiskey Moon, that is Wizard K of the Moon, and my alter egos, many are they. These have been our heroes, now gone Huawei, Ghostmaker, Sculex, and Sand Phoenix, and also my little battle beast, who is currently around here somewhere. Visit us on YouTube and on Twitch. We play live D&D every Sunday. That may change soon due to matters of logistics, but we bring you at least one game a week. And I also stream, ideally, I'll stream 5 days a week during the week, generally from 7 p.m. GMT onwards. But we're broke as fuck. So I also have a Patreon. Unless you're willing to go there and give us a hand, which we would much appreciate, we gotta figure it out, but we'll figure it out. This has been The Wizard. Do you gentlemen have any closing words?
Stay hydrated.
Thanks for the invite. I'll be back.
Subscribe and follow K on Twitch.
Yeah, what he said.